Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Price of Vengeance at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Felicia, Corinne, Danny, and Jordan with their adventures on the high seas of Valeria. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the game. Check out the options in the chat bar. A lot of people using Wild Magic at the moment. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link in the stream information, or vote towards the session twist by becoming a subscriber. So, let's rejoin the players.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
We all there?
no.
There, hello everybody.
There we go.
There we go. They're all
I
there.
was writing hello in chat. I was writing hello in chat.
Oh, we've got Hermit and Scorn.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Oh,
hello,
lovely
Hermit.
start,
Hello,
Dan.
Storm. Hello, anybody else who's lurking at the moment. And just as a reminder, because I only found this out myself last week, if you are lurking, rather than muting the stream, if you could just take take the volume all the way down to just above muted, then you'll register as a viewer and help us out tremendously. If you mute yourself, you don't count as a viewer. So if you want to support your favorite streams, and any streams, not just us, but especially us, we're worth it.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Then please don't mute your viewing window. Just turn it down to a low volume, and you'll be able to help out your favorite streamers, even if you're looking. So, how is everyone? I know we had a bit of a chat before we went on air, but for the benefit of everybody, how have you been doing? What have you been doing?
I'm better now. This little fella's on screen.
Yes.
Look at that mop.
He's a mop on his head.
Did you put Scumfuse on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
good
was
one.
so
David
pleased.
Bowie.
Yeah, we were
Package.
so happy to see that one.
Adorable.
So adorable.
Yeah.
I only just saw it just before the stream because I've been sorting everything out for this new job, which I started today. Then as I was preparing this, I went into the Discord. I was like, oh, somebody posted in the artist room. And I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to get
Me, Jordan, and Felicia are leveling our 5th character in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The addiction runs
The
deep.
lady who didn't believe in alts now suddenly has a lot
It's
of
not
them.
that I didn't believe in alts, it's just I couldn't be bothered to level them by myself.
The
Now,
leveling is so fun. You meet a lot of idiots and you basically sass them out, and if they misbehave, you act like an ass back.
Simon,
It was
they're off.
hilarious. So there was this guy who backtalked me and tried to kill me because I let the mobs hit him because he pulled and I was the tank. And if you pull when I tank, then you can tank it yourself, okay? Basically,
even
because he
started and we're
sassed me
derailed.
back, we RP walked the entirety of the rest of the dungeon.
we used to have a
RP.
sign with the word tangent on it in one of our previous games.
Yes. Oh yeah. Actually, I
Not
should.
even a tangent.
But,
we didn't
but I
even
did ask.
start
I did
yet.
ask what you guys have been up to. So
Yes. Yes. That's.
my fault.
We actually have a thing in our meetings at work. You do that for rabbit ears if you're going down a rabbit hole.
Oh right, I like
That
that
brings
one.
people back. No, never use passive aggressively.
No.
Ever.
Never. No.
Because passive aggressive never works, and it never happens in an office environment.
No. Of course not.
Hope you're feeling better though, Scorn.
Yeah. Oh, and don't
yeah,
feel like
thanks.
you're obligated to do any art at all. That was
No,
like,
just know that whenever you do, it will always be appreciated. And if you look on Twitter, Score, I actually sent it out when I saw the second one. I was like, I haven't sent the first one out yet, and I send them both out together. So, so yeah, thank you for that. And it's great to just see more of the ship take life. Yeah, so absolutely loving that. Jordan, other than going along with these two addicts here, what have you been up to, mate?
Ooh,
You
there's
say that
not-
as if he's not one of us.
I'm definitely one of them.
I'm sure I was being kind.
Actually, this is another tangent, but it's also this not a promotion. I'm part of the Humble Bundle thing, so I get like 3 games every month. And I've actually got a game I want to give to you, Simon, because I think you will enjoy playing it.
Oh, thank
And now's a good enough time to mention it. It's called Hello Neighbor, and the idea is
Oh!
the idea is you have a creepy neighbor, and you need to try and find out what they're up to. So you go and sneak into
I
their
love
house. the
the sound of it.
Yeah,
Considering
I
the
think
last
Simon will love
recommendation you
that.
gave me, I ended up clocking up about 200 hours on. You
This
got
has
me
got a
into
real
the
creep
Let's Starve of
factor
all
though.
things, but I love it.
But this has got a real creep factor to it, because if you get caught, he learns your route. So you have to keep finding different ways to get into his house.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it gets really creepy. So I'll have to
I'm
send
trying
that
to
you
write
at the
tangent, but I think I'd run out of space. So.
Tanga.
Anger.
We can
Yeah,
edit
that
it.
is a really good game for someone like Simon, I think.
Yes, I thought-
If
I saw it
it's
for you.
you know me, if it's difficult and it requires a lot of kind of
Oh yeah.
And besides, it's
Brain
an
crackling,
indie
that's-
developed game
Yeah.
And
that
those I love
managed to
too.
get a lot of traction
Yeah.
and actually became successful. So it's kind of a nice story to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you at the end of the stream.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid of promoting things. Humble Bundle or whoever the supplier is, we can find out
Yeah, it
and put
was.
it in chat. You can absolutely do that. I mean, as far as we're concerned, if there's something that's cool, with chaotic neutral games, plural. If there's anything we like, we tend to shout it from the rooftops, talk about it in the Discord. Go for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
True.
However, if any of you would like to pay us for us to
promote
play and review
Yeah.
your game,
Please contact us.
please do so. We're open to
Don't
it. We're open
hesitate.
to it.
We'll
Yeah.
play it. We'll play a few hours of it at least.
Yeah, we'll play a few hours and
And if they
we'll...
like it, they will.
World of Warcraft, please sponsor us, please.
Please.
Yeah, give us Shuttle and Beta.
Please don't. Please don't enable them.
Maybe some extra sub time,
Stay
please. I'm a
soulless.
poor
Stay
uni
corporate.
student.
You already have them. You don't need to pay them, right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Just they are in your clutches. You don't need to give them money to do that more, please.
Just say no.
Yeah, I would like to be able to go to that bed and sleep in it. That's a good idea. Yeah, cool. Okay, right. And Danny, this
What
is the only time of the week I
weakness is
see
that?
you now, dude. So how has things been going with you?
Yeah, good. Last week I finished DMing for my work group, so I had a group of 4 first timers, and they were all
Ooh.
awesome. They were really good. So we ran the Grendel route, Ruins of Grendel route
Yeah.
campaign, which I'd tried once before when I was on holiday in Canada with my girlfriend, and her sisters said, or her sisters and cousins said, "Hey, you do D&D, DM first." No.
DM us!
Ah.
Because
Sure.
playing D&D
Okay.
immediately it means you know how to DM.
Hold
You know
something
how
up.
to DM with no preparation or anything like that.
Gave it a
I saw a
go.
dice somewhere.
I managed to cobble something together, even though my girlfriend's sister decided to immediately go off on one and just do the exact opposite of
Full
what everyone else did.
experience,
And so it was like instantly DMing 2 games. And so it was like deep end. So I reran that with a group of 4 friends from work, and they were all wonderful.
And went the right way.
They went there, they followed the signposts. They did make 3 choices, but they did follow the main signpost, which is great. Nobody died, even though 2 of them nearly died. Level 1, very squishy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah. First 3 levels are the most dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't realize how squishy level 1 was for a DM. I was like, okay, 2 goblins come in, 2 skeletons come in, and just kind of cut some of the baddies out, and managed to do that on the fly, and then it seemed to happen.
Cool.
So that was a big relief.
It's
I
always a
feel
bit
like
of a risk, though, DMing from people from work, because you've got one of 2 things. Either you find out, as I did in my last job, that there are a couple of people who play D&D, and you're kind of like, oh, yeah, do you want to come and do a one-shot at some point? Knowing full well that they'll shut up about it when the brass is around. Or there's the one thing I had, and this is a long time ago, where we were role-playing, and we decided that we were just going to use one of the meeting rooms after work, because we were kind of like a 24/7 research facility. And the finance director came in because he was doing a meeting with one of the overseas guys, like China or something. And he kind of looked at it and said, everything okay here? And we said, oh yeah, we're running a few extra samples, but we're doing some, we're playing a game, and we didn't want to mention the game. He was like, is that D&D? I've always wanted to play. He was in the next session.
Oh no.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That was it. It was just kind of like, I can't believe it. I'm fucking DMing for my director. But yeah.
Don't kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this isn't tangent. This is all part of How Is It?
This is relevant.
So relevant.
This is
A
relevant.
full-on
I made the
rant
sign
is a
now.
tangent.
I have made
Yeah,
the
you
sign.
have got a sign. Yeah. I would point out that you're the bloody producer. You don't need a sign. You can just press a button. It'll go tangent across the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
That's
pretty
backwards.
sure that on stream it is mirrored.
Yeah,
So
that's backwards.
yeah.
Yep. Not a very
Anyway.
good sign, that.
Anyway,
Just mirror
that's good.
your
Rather than just
cam.
playing games and not actually kind of catching up with people, we're bloody community, so let's do this. And I hope everybody is okay in chat. Hello, Hermit.
Where is the freight?
Where's our boy?
Where's our boy?
Our other boy?
I'm sure they'll be.
Can't get
I'm sure they'll be in.
They'll
I'm
be
sure they'll
around. They usually
Yeah.
come around.
So, when we left off, we decided, rather than giving you ship combat upon ship combat, you guys had a little bit of role playing, a little bit of investigation to do, and you threw in good stead. I can't tell if that's actually a sound that Corinne's putting in, or somebody gunning their engines outside of somebody's window.
It was outside. I heard
Oh,
it.
it was outside. Is it from here? Okay.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I was.
Yeah,
about
you
to say,
want?
what?
I don't have the Kate thing where I can like broadcast through Zoom. If you want
Alright.
to hear it, there is links in chat.
So, yes, actually, the freight is currently away polishing cannonballs.
That's right.
So, you guys are in Potfruk, and you have started vetting all the various tribes to find out what's going on. So, he says, without his bloody bullet journal next. So I've got my notepad, but I haven't got my bullet journal, which has a lot of the stuff from last session. But I'll go through it. based on memory. So the Brightwings, the Kawiti, you didn't see much of them. It was mostly Jordan and Danny that saw that they were coming in with huge kind of almost stretcher type things that they were pulling off the boats that had a large amount of fish that they were bringing in. They brought it into... Actually, that might be coming through my window. There we go. Oops.
Sounds good.
Bit better? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Kawiti are just trying to supply as much as they can fish and getting any kind of edible plant life they can from the local shores. Being the Kawiti, they are based on Jaspera, but they only come into land to sleep and all the rest of it. Mostly they live in the shallows or on small fishing boats. So as I said, I think kind of Maori or Indonesian kind of things, Moana kind of style people. They tend to be hardworking, kind of the type of people that you can that you really kind of get on with. They're just trying to find a practical solution to this. So you've seen that. Also, there was a what was his name? His name was not Samwise Noakes. Not entirely sure. You actually.
The guy who was in charge of like the crowds and the distribution of the goods.
Yeah. So you saw a tavern keeper who had got this, who was dishing this out.
I didn't get a name.
Yeah, I don't think I actually gave you one. I think because he was only a background character anyway, just to show you how it was kind of being done. So Danny
yes.
Dalgal joined the queue for the food just to speak to the people in the queue. First of all, he found the Chronodoli, which gets us onto the next tribe. The Chronodoli, the Risen Skull tribe. These guys are freaky as fuck. They are known to be cannibals, opportunistic. If they find you in the dunes and rock deserts of Jaspera, they will kill you and eat you. That's how they've been surviving, is that they are opportunistic feeders. They will eat carrion, they will eat anything that's meat. They are creepy as fuck, as we found out when Jordan went to visit their house.
Like a smart person.
It was very big brain.
Yeah, it was one of your
Probably
moments.
a good idea that someone went and checked them out.
But you met a bunch of others on the way there as well. So you met the Bocabra. So the Bocabra...
Yeah, it was Hermit and Alphonse went.
That's right, Hermit was there.
Yes.
And so you met the Bocabra, who just seemed to be getting on with shit. They were actually protecting, at that point, a Tanakahi, who was the giant snake tribe. And they were protecting a Tanakahi female, heavily pregnant, who was going off to see one of her Bocabra friends. So they were protecting her going through. Alphonse challenged them. They kind of were like, "Who the fuck are you?" But they kind of realized that once he was concerned about just a pregnant woman walking through the city, they couldn't disapprove of him, and the Bocabra actually quite liked him after a while. The one faction that was very hard to find was the Burnt Lions. And, Alphonse found them as well. Most of them lying near dead in a gutter, as these idiotic zealots believed that they could get all the nutrition they needed from the sun, and are lying in gutters, doorways, suffering from heat stroke. Because, religion. But there's but finally he got to the Chronodoli, had a creepy enough start with the people outside the Risen Skull chapter house here, which is just a ruin that they decided to commission. And then going inside into the darkness, human, no...
Pitch black for me.
Yeah, and Hermit roll of 4 to see. Ended up speaking to a disembodied voice in the darkness, who went through an interesting philosophical and what I'm sure they thought was poetic and enticing sales pitch for the Chronodoli, because they'll accept anybody who puts up with their shit, frankly. And they were hoping that Alphonse would come along and swell their numbers. So...
Don't join the cannibals. Not
Yeah,
a good
I love
look.
how interested you were. It's like, watching Steve Irwin with a crocodile. It's like, most people are going, no, not at all, Brian.
Well, like they're
I'm going to
dealing
stick
with
my finger in his eye.
they're dealing with death. Alphonse is trying to prevent that. There's some thing going on there.
Very brave.
I mean, undeath and not dying are not the same.
Yeah.
But they're linked, I guess.
Yeah, so the brochure was the whole kind of, hey, enjoy life, do really fucked up things, and don't worry, we'll raise you afterwards. So that's like an extension, right?
Yeah.
Needless to say, it was not the best sales pitch, and I can't say it was 100% unsuccessful, which made me a little scared. Elsewhere, however,
You
Dalgal...
asked us to make sort of fucked up characters that are in the Forsaken for a reason, you know?
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
You got your
I'm way too well behaved. Gonna have to
Elsewhere, Dalgal found some of the Twin Axe tribe, which the girls had also found, queuing up at the front of this food queue. It seems to be that the warriors kind of just went to the front and everybody let them because they didn't want to fight to break out. Mixed amongst there were the stoic and kind of standoffish Steel Sisterhood, the Kuadir, who
That massive means the healer
really
has a
didn't offer
backup
that
plan.
much, other than confirming that if the Chronodoli, who are at the back of the queue, try pushing forward, that she would fuck them up. That was about the only thing you got, was that she nodded a moment of assent when they said, yeah, they step forward, you're going to get fucked up.
I didn't do anything with that at all, but Dargo would have given her.
Yeah. You were mostly speaking to the Blood Whisper tribe.
That was the Wari, wasn't it?
The Wari, yeah.
Wari,
So W-H-A-R-I. The Wari tribe, as much as they're called the Blood Whisper tribe, which sounds a little bit evil, seem to be matriarchal, practical, trying to seek fair play. And the ones that Dalgal found in the queue weren't necessarily looking for themselves. They were bringing children to get things to eat. Unfortunately, Danny missed a particular role that would have told him a bit more. He got pretty much, these women are badass and they're trying to do what's necessary to keep everybody alive. So that was kind of cool. And you kind of started getting the cut of the Wari. One of the things that you pressed on, Dalgal, and managed to get more on is that the Bitter Sun Horde, who you saw with the Razali Magister that first came up and spoke to you and commissioned the food, although that's in holding at the moment because we're going to be doing that this session, the meal, with Felicia. You noticed that they weren't queuing, not a single one of them. They were walking around the city, happy as you like, looking well fed, happy, some of them laughing and joking, the rest of them just kind of glaring at people just to assert their authority. And they didn't seem to be in any state of urgency at all, whereas you've seen a scale between struggling, dying, and they stuck out like a sore thumb. And you asked all the right questions, made the right observations, so that's better than a perception check in my view, is kind of whittling down and going and not just seeing but noticing. You figured out, these guys aren't struggling at all.
And am I right in thinking that when I asked about, why hasn't anyone risen up and rioted, and you said that the town guard is basically, they're quite brutal and they put...
Yeah, so the town guard are completely impartial. They are mercenaries from outside. They are well fed.
Oh my god, Scorpius.
I didn't get that bit.
Oh no.
That cannibal nuggets.
I had no... You have one gingerbread story, and all witches are about eating children after that. I don't know. I expected you to, be against stereotypes, Scornfuse. There's enough about your race. There was a load of that got collected. So amongst you all, not that you've actually met up and exchanged notes yet, you've kind of managed to get a whole kind of rundown of the city, how it's working at the moment. The girls spoke to the Twin Axe tribe. Felicia got a dagger, or Ava got a dagger from the Twin Axe tribe, which showed that she gained one of their favor or killed one of them. It's the same thing to them. But then they carried on with the Wari, which was. I'll grab that in a second.
Ava did her thing and made friends.
Nikala. Nikala brought you to their chapter house. Well, it's called a barrio, but the head of the one building that runs the barrio is the chapter house. The chapter house, which seemed to be a shop, seemed to be a herbalist shop, and you guys went in there, revealed your plan to give them a fantastic meal and loosen their lips. At which point she was like, well, we can do something about that, and enchanted a bottle of very fine rum. It's even finer now, thanks to the enchantment. And they said that this is a enchantment which is difficult even for an arcanist to notice, because it's witch magic rather than arcane magic. And it'll just
you said it was more like a blessing than
It's more a blessing. It's divine magic is the point. Yeah. And so they will. They said that it'll be damn near undetectable by the Rosali, who are not into that at all. They are 100%, wizard all the way kind of guys.
Arcane magic all the way, baby.
Yeah. And so she said they won't notice that, and it'll make them feel relaxed, secure, warm. Normally they use it for positive things, but in this case it'll be able to bring down some of their inhibitions, more so than rum normally does, and hopefully loosen their lips.
And we also had a little talk with Takahali, the blah people, snake people.
Snake people, Tanakahi.
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 Yeah, Tanakahi. I had a bit of a chat with one, and also I strategically chose to reveal about the facility and what they've done to one of their people.
And Dave, yeah.
So,
Dave. And once,
Dave.
yeah, once the priest, what you now know as the priest of Zaire, found out about that. So even though it's an evil snake god, but they don't see it as evil because they see the brutal kind of Jasperan continent. The snake is just saying be strong and survive to them. So they are kind of a variant of the Zaire.
They're the splinter thing of Zaire without all the evil. Just some of it.
Church of England, kind of Church of England Zaire. The tea, the cake, the occasional sacrifice, that kind of thing. They don't go the full evil route. That they are the more PR friendly kind of thing. They haven't gotten the full kind of Eastern Orthodox giant snake.
Yeah. Giant
and once he got angry, you could see, there's Zaire, because his eyes started going snake-like. His speech started to become more snake-like, as well as this kind of venomous blood started pumping through his veins. And so you have managed to put the Rosali out of favor with the Tenakai as well. So far, the Wari, the Ex-Kupla, which is a twin axe, and the Tenakahi are kind of primed. The Wari especially. The Wari are in at this point. But the others are kind of primed as well. We are going to time in with
David is mutant milk. Oh no.
Not the mutant milk.
It's not milk, Scrumpus. It's not milk. He keeps scraping the secretion of Dave off and calling it milk.
Move on.
Let's just say that for generations upon generations, kobolds have been eating all sorts of shit down in the depths, and have gained some sort of resistance. That and their innate magical resistance, having been very, 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 very distant relatives of dragons.
What is Scornfew's intelligence? I feel like it's like 7.
There's nothing wrong with having an intelligence of 7. Nothing at all.
Oh. Oh my god. Oh no, I don't think he's. That's.
Too far. Dial it back a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to start with Ava and Shirin. Okay. Now I do know that you did say that you're all going to be congregating. You've kind of put a time and a place down where you are going to get together.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that the boys are on their way, and what I want to hear from you is what is your plan? Is it literally just to legit do the meal, listen in, get whatever information you can and act on it, or are there extra bits?
That's pretty much it. I think we need to move this story along a little bit as well. So like.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we would just congregate, like quickly share our information if we want to role play that. Otherwise, just like say, oh, we have now shared all this information, and then go over what we come to a conclusion of, and then move along a little bit because.
Are we all
could
going to the dinner, or is it just the 2 of you?
You're all kind of down as staff,
Okay.
so that it gets you in. Yeah.
Okay.
Ordinarily, talking your way into a palace like this would take a lot.
Yeah.
But you just brought an absolute ton of food to a place where there is none, and you managed to get the approval of making a meal from a high-ranking Rosali who seems to have the Lord's ear. So you got through very quickly.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that knowing that you didn't know where you were going to be, you chose an arbitrary point for the boys to meet you, and you send Scornfuse out to
Yes.
go and meet the boys and bring them to the Wari chapter house.
Yes, we sent Scornfuse on this mission, and
Yep. Sending your crack agent out into the city.
in his little tuxedo.
That's the best.
Yeah. So you send him out to go collect the boys.
It's like that Japanese thing of sending a child on their first mission.
Errand,
or
yeah.
whatever. Errand, yes.
So, actually, I'm gonna just. You guys all go into the background, and I'm gonna address Scornfuse directly. As you're running through the streets, Scornfuse, to get to the collection point for Dalgal and Alphonse, you almost run headlong as you turn around a corner into an elderly man. And he says, careful there, child, careful. My word.
Keep calling my Chinese adult.
A Draconis minora. My word. Is this fate or just happy random happenstance? He kneels down arthritically onto one knee and goes, "Hello there. This is an advantageous meeting. I've been trying to do some magic to help out this town, but I'm looking for a reagent that I'm sure I can't get here. It's a scale from a dragon. I notice you, my boy, you seem to be molting some scales as your kind does. If you would, and I need obviously your consent. It's part of the requirement. If you would allow me some of those malted scales, I could give you And he reaches into his bag of holding and pulls out what seems to be another bag of holding, which, if Scornfuse knew anything about magic, would go, hang on, that don't work. And he goes, I could give you this. And he dangles in front of you a small purse-like bag of holding. It's about the size of a small handbag. On you, it would be a full-size bag of holding. It's quite special, you see. I didn't manage to get the full hang of it. I was actually extending somebody else's research. But this is an experimental bag of enchantment. If you reach inside, it takes a while to build up the energy again, obviously. But if you reach inside, it'll give you a random magical object. That seems a bit fair, doesn't it, for what is effectively a few loose hairs? What say you, young lad?
Do it.
Do it.
Weird bag.
Bag.
Well, that'll be some of those. Some of those, if you don't mind, reaches into the bag. But scales first. It's got to be a fair trade. And I'm going to presume by your answer that you kind of just go, fine, have some of my dandruff. Man.
Shakes herself like a doggy until scales fall off.
That's adorable.
So he goes, oh, thank you very much. He starts picking them up and hands you this little bag. Apologies in advance, Scumfuse. I came up with this idea last Thursday, started putting it together, failed, then realized how I could do it, and then didn't have time to put it together. So I'm going to do it manually this time round. But afterwards, there will be Scumfuse bag in Nightbot later on that will do this automatically, and you can do it once per session. So
It has a
you
3
reach
hour
into the
cooldown.
bag, and so that's that one. That's that one. That's
The
that one.
world ends.
They aren't
okay.
molten like you ask for, but they're cool to touch. Oh. Oh, you
Oh
thought...
god, here we go.
No,
You have
read what Scorpio said. He thought that like molting was like
Yeah,
molten.
Not molten. Oh, very good.
So, Scumfuse, you have the fashionable dagger of instability. This dagger, when used,
no.
will explode. When it's used for anything, it could be for cutting bread, it could be for whatever, it will explode with a 10-foot radius.
Oh no. Why
It
did you
is
give
a
it-
single use, but is an exploding dagger that you can potentially throw or drop on somebody from a great height, or if you're feeling suicidal, go out
someone.
and stab them with it. Okay.
Unstable enough, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
That's a
god.
really dangerous thing to give him.
The random bag gives all...
That is a great first roll, though,
That is
for
great.
that bag.
Oh, shiny.
This can go...
One thing about it, Scumfuse, is that you know what it does the second you pull it out of the bag. You just, oh, there we go. A lovely little pen knife, a little crafting knife for you to whittle on. He doesn't because he no longer owns the bag. Yeah, there we go. See, be careful. Some of them have minor design flaws. The bag
Minor.
was never fully perfected, you see.
Minor.
Anyway, he kind of comes with, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this should get me quite far. As far as Jinya, if I'm any judge. Thank you. Thank you very much. He picks up one of your scales, throws it on the floor, and curling out of some mist is a wyvern. He goes,
Ooh.
I was going for a drake, but a wyvern will have to do. All right. No saddle. I'm gonna have to rough this out. He gets onto the wyvern and flies off into the air. He's found his ticket out of Port Farouk.
Ah,
That's a
smart
good
man,
deal.
smart man.
Well done. Thank you, young one. You've saved this old man's life. And flies off.
Oh, nice one. Naughty boy.
Oh dear.
What have you done?
I'm
Just
very
look
happy
at
about this
chat.
development.
Okay. Oh, there. Phrasing.
That's intentional.
We're not there to stop this.
That's definitely intentional.
I know that, like, the person. Oh,
So-
dear child.
So
Who's a fully grown adult.
Alphonse, you know Scorn. You know him. And he's turned up with a bag you've never seen and a knife you've never seen.
Yeah, is he running? Are you Stormfuse? Are you running around just like with a dagger? Are you even holding it in the correct? Because you know you're not supposed to run with them. You're supposed to hold the blade, you know. So fall on it, don't stab yourself in the head.
You should probably put that away.
Yeah. So
Running
I guess
with knives
Alphonse
is
and I
bad.
have met up, and we're just waiting to be like,
Yep.
collect.
Yeah, so you've met up, you probably crossed notes already, however much Alphonse tells about his dealings with the Chronodoli.
About as much as he's going to say is they're probably not involved. That's about it. Not the whole dark
Yeah,
story.
and I'll just say, you know, what I saw when I was in the queue, and I'll say everything because I didn't find anything particularly juicy. So.
Scornfuse takes you back to the girls, and you are all ready. You can see that some of the food supplies have been brought to you by dragons.
The dagger is having psychosis. Oh god.
Dragons have brought you some of the food you need to make this fine meal. The herbs and things have been supplied by the Wari. I keep saying the Rosali, it's the Wari. By the Wari, and you are being taken by Nakama to the palace. When you walk into the border wall inside the palace, you can see that this is very much how this business works. Inside the palace, everything is lush, green. You can see that even though it's done ornamentally, every single plant here is edible.
I bought the male people. Yes, that's very good.
You can see that there are ornamental onions, garlic. Everything is edible. The trees that are here are hanging with fruits. And you're not quite sure about how the seasons work in Jaspera, but you, Felicia, being a druid, automatically can feel a certain amount of your type of magical energy.
Oh?
You have a feeling that they hire a druid to keep these plants churning out in-season fruit, and to keep the plants propagating. Looking at the large ornamental garden, it has got a lawn. That's about the only wasted part. Although the way that the lawn seems to have patches here and there, you have a feeling that they'll bring like goats or whatever in to feed off it as well. So maybe that's a good way for them to keep fresh meat about, just to keep it alive until they need it. There are none at the moment, however, and looking at it all, they're thinking, yeah, there'd probably be about as much food produced by these gardens to keep the palace going, but little else. And this is apparently by design. They've made this small biome that sustains themselves, and then everybody else is up to them.
Of course.
You get met by a major domo who says, yes, our guest chefs, please, come this way, come this way. You can see that this is quite a vicious-looking elf. Doesn't seem to be Jasperan. You don't see any signs of the other tribes that you've met so far on him. And seems to be another outsider, just like the palace guard. Similarly, everybody that you see in the grounds, whether they be clerks or servants, or you can see that there's this little halfling gardener, maybe the druid, you're not sure, and the guards that are around all seem to be from outside of Jaspera. In fact, now that you can see them closer up, Dalgal, your background lends the fact that they seem to be ex-military, from a lot of different military factions. You can see that one person holds his weapon in the style of a Vardencourt, Old Empire soldier. You can see that one of the archers at the top of the border wall holds their arrows their bow and arrows, and kind of walks with a kind of stalking gait that suggests that they were possibly a border guard for Sylvania. So they hire from all over, and the pay must be good. Either that, or they are provided with whatever diplomatic immunity from whatever they've run from. Either way, it seems to work for the palace, and the palace seems to be not suffering at this time. It seems that all the suffering is in the port itself. You get brought in through the tradesman's entrance, and there, right in front of you, is a beautiful kitchen. Slabs of marble, beautifully hewn. Pretty much
Ava
everything
is
you would
just like
expect.
having a very happy moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can
it has
see-
been so long since she spent time in a proper kitchen.
Yeah, you can see knives of fine mithril, incredibly light for precise cutting of things. You can see a whacking great big meat cleaver that's made for like cutting up entire animals over in the kind of butcher section. This is a full palace kitchen, by the way, so you can slaughter meat on one end of it, and the other end is like a pastry chef's dream. And then you've got everything in between as they show you the various different rooms. And hung up in the in what is the butchering slaughter room is what you seem to be a meat cleaver, large meat cleaver, blade probably about easily just under half a meter long, is made out of a strange looking material. Someone give me a...
Can I? If I worked in a mine, would I maybe know what it's made of?
I was going to say that you, because you're dwarven, you get to roll with advantage. Everybody roll me a d20 and add your... What would it be?
Is it history?
This would be an intelligence check, but it's not attached to any one skill.
It's not history, is it?
No.
16 minus 2, 14.
5.
Okay. Did you roll with advantage, Danny?
I did. I rolled, 16 and my other one was 7.
So 15 plus 2 equals 17.
Okay. And
I know
John?
maths, I promise. It's
8.
just been a long day of WoW.
Okay. So, Danny, you recognize it largely because your DC was lowered. And Felicia, you recognize it for a reason that you can give. Maybe you saw somebody with somebody just showed you it once. They were just showing off a weapon, or maybe you saw it in a brooch or something like that. This is adamantium. Yeah.
Probably during her travels.
And it's a big old chunk. I mean, you could probably repurpose this into maybe not a shield, but certainly a helm. It's thick enough at the top. If this is pure adamantium and you can find a decent smith, that could probably be that could be melted down into some sort of helm, probably a light helm.
So this sounds like it's something that would be too heavy for your average, I don't know, chef to use. This is something that would be wielded by someone who's very strong.
This would be
right?
This would be wielded by a slaughterman, which in most places slaughterhouses are not nice places to work.
Yeah.
But they are very physical places to work, and normally those with weaker stomachs would not be okay with this. So you tend to find that dwarves, Goliaths, occasional the more beefy tieflings will do this kind of work. There are, of course, people of other races who are very happy to do that. It's a hefty old thing, probably a good weapon in its own right at this point.
Have we been able to keep our weapons? We haven't had to hand them in.
You haven't had to hand them in yet, but as they start to explain, they say you can keep your various accoutrements on you. However, if you do want to go and present the food as the chef or chefs. You will have to shed your goods here. We have got a changing room at back, and you would have to dress in the appropriate attire for going upstairs.
Okay.
Yes. Our pirate clothes will not do.
It seems to me that he doesn't really care what you wear down here, but when you go up there, you wear basically servant's uniform, either maitre d' uniform or maid. You see that there's some maids' costumes, and
I
there's
definitely have my eye on one of those.
there's also like chef's costumes and various other bits as well. You have to dress like the staff if you go above.
Well,
they
the
present
thought
you
is
like
that we're going up to talk to them, so they probably already knew that, which is why they supplied with those.
Yeah.
That should be fine.
Yeah.
All four
You
of
can
us
see
doing
that a.
No.
I mean,
quite a-
maybe the two. Well, I wonder if we should have. It's probably better. It's probably better, like RP wise, if all of us go, because then everybody can be in the scene rather than having to like. Yeah.
You can see that two people are outside one of the kind of doors leading out of the kitchen, and they are both smoking pipes and just kind of sitting back and chilling. One of them is a tiefling woman in her probably her late 50s. You can see there's calluses on her elbows and on her hands. Quite clearly, either she's the cook, or she does some other kind of work that's to do with this. And she's got her feet up, and she's actually kind of puffing away quite happily. She's drinking a mug of small beer, and she's chatting to an alligator-like lizard man. He's got a short snout. He's got the tail with the two kind of ridges that converge down to a point. And you can see that he's got next to him an apron, a leather apron that seems to have been spattered with blood of ages. You think you found the person who
The butcher.
wields the fucking cleaver. But that even though hampered by large alligator-like teeth, seems to speak quite good common, and as you can kind of see him through the window and through the open door, he goes, "Looks like the guest cooks are here. Our holiday starts now. Hopefully they will have made enough victuals that there won't be any need for supper." They don't look like the
I am
normal
so
ones.
sorry for taking over your kitchen like this.
Please
I know
feel free to do it anytime you like. We like the rest.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I'll see if I can save some for you guys too.
Well, I certainly would like to learn a thing or two. Not that we are unskilled, but we don't get to speak to many others, you understand.
Of course.
Yes.
Anyway,
Um.
please, go ahead.
Yes.
So-
go for it, Ava.
Let's go
We
for
can't
some
cook for shit.
rolls.
Yeah. Ava
So,
will
Ava's gonna be
commandeer
the
the
one-
kitchen, basically delegating the others to things like cutting vegetables, stirring the big pot that the soup's gonna be in, and
Things
stuff
we
like
can't
that.
fuck up.
Yes.
Things
'Cause
that
we
require
will.
different rolls. So, let's see. So the cutting things that requires a dexterous hand.
No, Scrumfuse. I'm the babysitter, apparently, preventing Scrumfuse from climbing into the fucking oven.
Yes, Funky, you've got a knife, you can do the chopping.
No, no.
Boom. Oh, don't.
Okay.
You
Chef.
do mash now.
Yeah. Plan ruined.
So
I'm
yeah,
okay.
you designate different tasks. Now we're just going to choose a bunch of default tasks. Felicia, of course, you're going to be using your chef's roll.
Yeah.
But you're going to be rolling last because all the others are your assistants, your sous chefs, and how well or badly they do will give you either advantage, regular roll, or disadvantage on said roll. So, happy helpers.
Don't fuck this up.
I need somebody with a dexterous hand to cut. Who's going to do that?
Probably me. Let me check.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the best
I'm
at
Dexy.
it, or now.
Yeah,
I
my
thought
dex is 14.
Okay.
That's
So, Corinne, give me a cutting roll. Now, this chopping, it's only basic chopping, thankfully, that you're going to be doing. So, just give me a dex with proficiency, and this is just cutting things into cubes and things like that. The finesse stuff will be done by Felicia, of course. She's getting you just to do the basic stuff.
Can I have a guidance, sir?
Can you have guidance on this?
Well, Jordan, because
I'm gonna
this
be
is all
doing my
happening
own
concurrently,
yeah,
you
'cause
can
I'm
only
gonna be
give
doing my
guidance
own
to
thing.
one person.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
He may need guidance himself, so
Yes, that's what I
well-
mean.
That is pretty good. 16 on the dice with plus
Okay.
5 is 21.
21. 16 plus 5. Okay, yep. You can
yeah.
see that concentrating on the task at hand.
Plus
Shirin-
4. No.
Oh.
Wait, why do
Either way,
Is
if
it
it's
a
20 or
save or
21,
a-
it's in
Oh
the
no,
right
yeah,
place.
plus 5. I thought my for a second I thought my proficiency bonus was plus 2. I was like, no, it's plus 3.
You do have your skags with you, so again, I'm going to be throwing some things at them as well. You can see that Shirin is definitely kind of paying attention to this. She knows how important it is, and she seems to be coring and healing and getting it so that she's maximizing on all the food.
The characters.
Oh, we're definitely putting Hermit in the maid outfit, by the way. Oh, Scrumpius is a teddy.
well, there's only 2 suits and like 4 maid outfits.
So yeah, so it's
Process of elimination in the height short is that one suit is smaller, so that means Dargal gets it, and the other one is tall, so obviously Alphonse gets that one.
yeah.
And that means that the rest of us have maid outfits. Well,
Yeah.
I get the chef's one, so you guys can fight over the maid ones.
yeah.
So the next thing is, I'm pretty sure I know who's this. You need somebody who's got a good, strong pair of arms. You need
Hello,
to,
Lucille.
you need stuff stirred. You need to have, dough pounded and folded. You need to have a load of things that are just, heavy lifted, and once everything is all prepared, you need somebody to lift it up and put it into the ovens and things. I'm pretty sure it's Danny. So,
Where needs to go?
Dargal
Yep.
can take care of that.
so that is strength with proficiency, please.
Here we go. Oh, 17 plus 7. 24.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So far so good. You can see that all of this is going ahead, Ava. And finally, you need somebody to be kind of preparing some of the herbs and things like that you've got. So it's stalking, clipping the leaves, harvesting the berries and things like that. Just requires a careful eye, a bit of attention. So this is a wisdom roll with proficiency for
That's one of my bad ones. Okay, I'm gonna actually roll my own dice rather than D&D Beyond because it's been ruining me all the time.
Yeah,
Gonna
D&D
guidance
Beyond is
myself as
really
well.
mean. They were mean to Kate too, those dice.
Hello, mister.
Yep. So I'm also gonna guidance myself as well as I do this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need
Probably a
it.
good idea.
Okay, that is that. Plus the 1, that's 17. Ooh.
17. Okay.
Nice.
You can see that strangely, as he's muttering something under his breath as he does it, but Alphonse seems to be doing okay with reconstituting certain dried berries and things like that. Kind of like a herbalist's mate. That's,
My guidance did well. It was a 4, so it definitely helped.
However, there's a lot to do. You are putting together a minor banquet, and so there is a lot of fetching and carrying and washing stuff up in time without making sure that there isn't any lye left in the pan, because that will taint the food. And for that, unfortunately, you have to rely on the Skags. So as this is going ahead,
Okay, here we go.
Scorpius is currently trying to chase down some maids, and Hermit is like happy that thank God that they don't know who the hell Hermit is.
Dave's milk needs to be trademarked.
Hashtag Dave's milk.
Kermit, you're on
Don't do
dishwasher
hashtag
duty.
Dave's milk, please.
So as after you end up dragging Scornfuse with his offer of Dave's strange milk from some very, very nervous maids, you set them to task. Scornfuse and Hermit, please! Exclamation point D20.
I can help. Yes, man. Ooh,
Oh wow! Scornfuse
wow.
coming in strong.
Very good.
Once he's separated from the pretty maids, the little. And
Oh,
Hermit as
oh, well
You can-
done.
Scornfuse is dashing about with pots and pans and all sorts of other things, cleaning up the floor, cleaning up the work surfaces like a pro. Clearly, all that time he's
Oh, we lost Dan.
We lost Dan.
He'll be back in a sec.
We are all now super weird.
Yep. That's
It's
fine. We'll be back in a
fine.
minute. You can see our pretty faces front and center in a sec, but we'll
Yes.
keep going.
Kind of-
Scumfuse, clearly all the swabbing of the decks and scrubbing down of various bits and pieces, and that cannonball polishing workshop that Defrate's been doing on the weekends has clearly paid off. I'll strap floor brushes to my feet so I can clean and run parts around at the same time. Love it. It's on brand, Hermit. You know that. You've been with us long enough, man. And so little Scornfuse is going around cleaning up a storm, and Hermit is the pans are coming back sterile clean. Ava, they've done you proud. I haven't got a choice. I was hoping that the Skags would bring it back down, but everybody's managed to meet their target. You get a reduction in the DC, but you also get to roll with advantage. So give me a chef's check with advantage. Obviously, every 5 that you beat the what is now reduced DC by is an extra tier of success.
Lovely.
Can I give guidance now?
No, because it's all happening concurrently.
Okay.
That is fine. I have advantage.
I'm
reduced
hoping
DC.
that Danny will come
Now,
back soon because we're
Tell
looking
me
very
what
weird.
modifier will I be using for my chef's stuff?
This is all about. Well, you'll be happy to know that this is wisdom, because this is watching everything, judging everything. If you were doing an individual thing, like you would like doing a scalloping against another chef to see who could do the best, that would be a dex-based one. But this is just watching everything, making the right call. It's wisdom-based.
Lovely, because one dice rolled a 4, the other rolled a 17.
Nice,
Better.
nice.
That's good.
So that's a 17 plus 4 because it's wisdom, and then proficiency.
Yep.
So that is a plus 7 to a 17, so 24.
24. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
really
looking-
pleased.
I really
The-
hope Danny gets back because currently we're looking super weird.
Yeah, he probably has
Give
some
him
problem
a
with his internet.
moment, it'll be fine.
You
We
can
should
see.
make a backup screen where it's made for 4
Yeah,
players
a
in
dropout
case
screen. We've done
someone,
that before. Yeah, but we'll put something together.
Oh, no.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he
Um,
sent me a message. Oh no, crashed BRB.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, the feast in front of you, Ava, is beautiful. Certainly reminiscent of some of your best works in some of the kitchens that you worked in before the
Incident.
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 I was trying to find a tactful word. Incident. Let's work with incident. There are pies, there are platters, there's you can all of the various things are going forward. There are some wines that you pull from their own, but then in the part which normally has the most conversation, you have this beautiful teardrop curved-necked, swan-necked bottle of this very fine rum, finer these days. And with that, we are going to go take our 10-minute break early. We normally do it at 9:30, but seeing as Danny is sorting out his connection issues, we are going to take our 10-minute break now, and we'll come back with the meal. So we will see you then.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing the role-playing chat during break.
Yes.
Yes.
So 10 minutes. See you guys soon.
Welcome back, and we have everybody as Danny's managed to persuade his computer to play ball. I'm not surprised in this bloody heat that it's given up the ghost.
Thank you,
I'm a
Scornfuse.
bit...
And I take this milk behind milk.
Where did he get 6 pints of Dave milk?
I don't know, but I'm gonna
Also,
take.
first time I've ever
It's been
said
a
that.
long journey
Role
to
playing.
disparity.
Does that to you.
Yes.
We do not question it.
I take it behind, like, somewhere, and I pour it down the drain in the system.
And now it's in the water system.
Dave's going to have to rehydrate to get to fill that back up. Anyway, so
The lumps aren't nice. Watch the lumps, and I'm like, oh great.
I actually feel a little bit sick.
Yeah. We need to get off of Dave's milk right now.
Dave's lumpy milk.
Move on.
I was about to say, I was wondering if the skags were going to be scaggy enough. And,
Oh yeah.
but
Scaggier than us.
between Hermit, Defrate, and Scornfuse, they've been just carrying this shit.
Oh god,
So,
they're much better at this role-playing thing than we are.
yeah, you're here for the chat. I apologize to anybody who's watching this on YouTube because we don't capture the chat on YouTube. So
We might need to do that for future games.
Yeah.
we could start.
I'll
doing
I'll
that.
have a
Especially
look
like
at
this.
it.
Yeah.
Well, certainly the ones where we have the viewers playing as well. We could splice it in. We could do that. So, even if we just have a one-liner, Felicia, we could do it so that you can just see the lines popping up.
Hello, Valxion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, welcome
Hello.
back, Felixion.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome back.
That
So, when we left off, you guys had a beautiful meal prepared.
Oh my god, you lost your enchanted knife. Oh no.
Scornfuse has somehow left an explosive knife, badly enchanted explosive knife, in the cutlery drawer. We'll start rolling karma rolls for that, by the way.
Does anyone have detect magic?
yes,
Yes,
So-
okay. Can
but
you
we
please?
don't know. They does too know.
You have to know to use it. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm busy making the best meal this town has ever seen.
now that Dave's milk has been disposed of, the explosive knife has been hidden in a drawer, and the feast is all prepared. Oh, and most importantly, Hermit is now in a maid's costume.
Yes.
You guys.
He is beautiful, adorable.
Yeah. It's a half elves. They have the legs that can carry it.
Yeah.
Dwarves and Welshmen, we just don't have a chance to. I mean, my Rocky Horror is just terrible.
Yes, and we all
Anyway.
fear Felicia's wrath. By the way.
You guys get dressed into whether it's a chef's uniform or a maitre d's uniform or whatever you think is suitable for you. And these are kind of presentation uniforms, so
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna put that in the chat.
you, with the aid of the other waiting staff, servants, start taking these beautiful courses upstairs. You go through corridors that start to become more lavish. At first, the corridors have things piled to one side, still finery, but finery that is just kind of piled to one side. Clearly, old decorations that are either being repaired, resurfaced, restored, whatever. And then you break into the corridors proper. This looks like any noble house that you would find in Meridia, Caltalans, the old empire. And so carpeted, wallpapered, plaster frescoes with gold leaf. There are paintings on the walls. There are little tables with expensive things on them. And you're going through with trolleys or platters or whatever. And you get directed into a pair of double doors that goes into a beautiful, large dining room. Now, by most mansions, palaces standards, it's not as big as others. For any of you who have backgrounds like Ava, who would have worked in palaces in the past for certain gigs. Certainly, if any of you have a performance background, you would notice that this is smaller than usual. Inside, you can see that Eric, the Rosali that you met before, is there in full dress robes. He is wearing a mixture of purple and cloth of gold. He has a high-necked collar that seems to have some sort of enchantment that makes it kind of shimmer very slightly in the light, with a small iridescent oil-like sheen. He's sat there currently with a goblet in his hand that he's swooshing around, and there's some wine inside. And you can see that there is across from him a woman in great finery, and you have a feeling this is the lady of the palace, Lady Farouk. And at the head of this table is a man who is in what seems to be a strange mishmash of military honors. He's got like a military coat, piping along the epaulets and along the collar. He seems to have a mixture of medals that seem to be from different countries, and he's sat there. Some of you who are trained in history will know that the uniform he's wearing isn't of any one particular army, but seems to have elements of a few. He sat there just having polite conversation, and he goes, "Isn't that right, dear?" And the woman in the finery, who just kind of sits there with her tiny, tiny little goblet of whatever she's drinking, just kind of very kind of demurely. By the looks of it, she's not from around here, right?
Are they both human? Both human?
No. So the Lord himself is actually a near human tiefling. So he has elements. So he's mostly human-looking, human skin. But you can see there's angle to the chin. You have a feeling that his beard is hiding maybe some ridge spurs, because he has a forked beard that's very pointedly pointed. And you can see that he has two. They're not little stubby horns, but they are two kind of like, I guess, size of a finger, bladed horns. That curl back and just about break the hairline. His hair's kind of short like mine. The demure-looking woman is a half-elven woman, and you can see that she's got some sort of scarring. It's like pox scarring on her face. So it's kind of created. It almost looks like a burn, but anybody with any medical background, Alphonse has seen this before, for example, because he has the background, so automatically qualifies. This is actually from some sort of disease that she got through, but it really ripped up the skin with hives and things like that, and it's never gone back to normal. It's kind of smoothed off now. It's not as scabby as it would have been when she was younger, but it's kind of undulating.
How? I am gonna ask Hermit why you used to wearing maid outfits. How?
Oh, backstory from Hermit.
I'm used to wearing nothing. We know, Squirm. It was several weeks before we convinced you that wearing clothes was a good idea.
So you start to place the food down on this table. The table is long enough that you can put all of the courses down and just kind of move them down as they're needed. The Lord goes, "So, which of you are the major suppliers?" Eric. And Eric turns and says, "Let's see. I primarily spoke to those four," and points out to the players. At which point the Lord goes, "Well, okay. Is Nakala going to be here?" I did give her the invite. At which point Nakala walks in and says, "Sorry, Emily."
Nakala was the one we are.
The Wari.
The Wari that we are cosplaying with.
Yeah, she's one of the elders of the Wari.
Yeah.
So she's the first Wari you ever met. She was there at the breakwater. As she comes in, terribly sorry. It's clear that she wasn't invited because Arik gives a forced smile and says, "Ah, my dear, you got my invitation." "No, Magister, it seems to have been misplaced, but I just felt that I was welcome here, being a representative of the council. And she walks straight up and, without a single flinch, pulls the chair back next to Eric and sits next to him. Eric gives a grin to you all and says, "Shall we sit?"
What
You can
have we
send your.
cooked, Felicia? What have we cooked? Have we made a stew that that is for everybody? Or?
Well, the thought was to make something very extravagant, but also resource efficient. So probably not a stew, really. Maybe a soup for the entree, and then moving along to something meatier, because that's more impressive. You know how it is.
Yeah, we don't want to waste too much, but yeah, we've done
Exactly.
resource conservative, but still nice. Yeah.
Impressive was the
Yeah.
thought, at least.
The Lord turns to Hermit and says, "Maid, you may stay by the door." And the bus boy can return to the kitchen, but it looks like nothing was spilled or jostled. So, maid, make sure he has little plates of something. I think it's a just reward. As he dismisses Confuse into the kitchen alone.
No. And I'm like, he's one of our assistants, so if he may stay around, that would be very, we would appreciate it a lot.
He looks at you and says, "As you wish. There's a chair by the door. Sit there, lad."
Yes. Disaster averted.
So
No boom in the kitchen.
I have a moment of thanks for you all. You have helped
Sits in the kitchen.
my port, my city, as it's becoming. You know it's no city, but he seems to think it is. My city, as it's becoming, by bringing this much-needed supplies. And other than this gift that you bring to me, this will be the last that I'll eat of your delivery, and it shall go to the people themselves.
Do we have a representative of every tribe here now?
Well, no, but you have Nikala, who has pretty much been given permission by the others to represent them, because she's
Okay,
going
that's
for
decent
fairness.
enough.
So, rather than bringing the whole council here, which would become a lengthy and laborious procedure, you have here two of my most respected tribal representatives, the Wari, the Rosali, people of great renown. The Rosali, for example, has provided magical assistance to my city to protect it. The pirates, the ne'er-do-well that has been raiding our coasts has been kept far away from the Kawiti, who are in the shallows here, by the Rosali. The Rosali have been using their magic to keep any unwanted vessels away, whilst letting good, hard-working folk like yourself through. I owe a lot to Magister Eric and his kind here. The Rosali don't have much of a footprint here, but it's been important for them to be here. They've used this as one of their spotter stations, which I'm very happy to help out with. And they've been petitioning for fairness, but with a modicum of common sense. Before you were coming here, Eric was saying that we must take population into account. Population. Now, leadership is all about difficult decisions. So, for example, the Chronodoli, for example, they are foolish individuals. They believe that their faith will give them what they need, and the gods help those who help themselves. Now, at this point, they're like Chronodoli. Don't you mean the burnt lions? He
Yeah,
says,
that's what I was just thinking.
So a grant of food will go to them. I know they're just lazing about, and I know they've got a bad reputation, but we must be seen to be fair. So they will get a grant of food.
Chronodoli was the the cannibals, or was that
the cannibals? Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas the
that's why Alphonse is like perked up a bit.
Yeah.
Now, what we've been told is that that they're on balance. There are more Bitter Sun. I speak many of the tribal languages. The Bitter Sun. There's more of them than anybody else in the city. So obviously, we need to make sure that they are well fed. Of the people who are in less population in the city, there are, of course, the Steel Sisterhood. Only a handful of them.
Okay, when he starts talking about where he wants to allocate food, I'm gonna subtle spell again, and I'm gonna subtle spell Detect Thoughts.
Sure. At him, I presume?
Yeah.
Yeah. He believes every fucking word he's saying.
Right. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now I understand that this is going to be a subject close to your heart, Nagala. Now the Ware have.
So as soon as I
taken on a
realize
lot.
that he is like 100% in this guy's pocket, I go onto the Rosali and just want to see what he's thinking.
Okay. The Rosali is currently listening to the Lord, and his thoughts are of satisfaction and success.
Yeah.
Success at a job well done. And so he goes, so the Wari obviously have taken on a lot of the children. Now, the children don't need as much food, obviously, as a full-grown adult, so there's going to be a reduction there. But
shouldn't there be an increase in food then if they have all of the children? That's your nation's future, after
yes,
all.
well, that's what we're willing to discuss here is Nikala. I know that the twin axes are ready to go out and start hunting, as they should be doing so. They're fine fellows. And haven't heard much from the Burned Lions, so they tell me that they have everything in hand. Apparently, they found some divine means to sustain themselves.
I shoot a look at Alphonse when they mentioned that.
Burned Sun.
Burnt Lions.
Yeah, Burnt Lions.
It's the Bitter Sun and the Burnt Lions. The Bitter Sun are the ones that are in cahoots with the Rosali. The Burnt Lions are the fucking idiot zealots who are suffering heat stroke.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was in character.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like Alphonse spoke up saying, the Burned Lions?
Yes, so they have...
As in questioning.
Yes, they found a fantastic way to invoke divine magic to be able to give themselves the sustenance they need from the sun itself. They've assured me that they will not be needing food. That all they need is the sun spirit, and the sun spirit will give them what they need. However, as I say, the Ware are going to need an extra grant of food, and I am willing to do that for you, Nikala. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to pull back on the twin axes to get them to go out and start doing to do more. And you can see that it's quite clear that he's had all this kind of less for these guys, less for these guys, less for these guys. And then now that they know that Nikala is throwing Aurora in, they're trying to buy her off with. And this is pretty much what Corinne is getting the top of.
Yeah.
As well, is that it's a case of let's shut Nikala up with a small grant of extra food in the hope that we can buy her off so that it can screw other people. And so yes, as you can see, we have given due consideration for all of the various needs within my city, and so that's how we'll be dividing up your food. But I believe that you wanted to be aware of this before you release the food to our care. Even though we're paying.
Yes.
Do we want to reveal to them that some of this information is wrong?
So
Now,
I
know that Eric promised to pay you out of his own pocket, but I think to keep it fair and above board, I should be the one to buy it off you, being that I am impartial to all of the different tribes, and then it shall be distributed in a fair manner. So
how is Lady Foot reacting to this? Is she looking at her husband with like,
Oh yeah, what is she thinking? I will switch over to her. What is she thinking?
Okay.
Yeah.
Danny's first, then yours, because they're two different answers.
Oh yeah.
Watch how she's reacting, whether it's like with revere or whether she's like,
Danny, she is nodding and sycophantically nodding along to every fucking thing he says.
Do I get the feeling that she would do that whatever he says?
Yeah. It is so airs and graces. No normal person agrees with somebody like that. You've been there in all the different pubs and taverns and things from when you were traveling. You know that if those places, if a husband's talking bullshit, you'll get the kind of fishwife rolling her eyes, crossing her arms, all of that stuff. No fucking fear. This girl is just simpering.
Yes, we need a kid's meal scompius.
Then to juxtapose that with Corinne's question, she's like, "You fucking idiot." In her head, she is, "You fucking idiot. You are being played like a fucking fiddle." And she is, she's there like, "My father wouldn't have bought this bullshit for a second. I can't believe I'm with you, you fucking failure." She's effing and blinding like the aforementioned fishwife. It's just all internalized. Everything is internalized. She's like, "You fucking idiot. Everyone's playing you, and you have no idea. The only thing that you've got going for you is that you are a needed tool. Otherwise, you'd be out on your ear and you wouldn't have any of this shit." And yeah, she's super scathing. In fact, her mind, she's pretty much calling him a swear word every few sentences. It's like internal catharsis. So she's thinking, kind of thing, like, and just the internal and external are just completely fucking.
Yeah.
She does point out, "I'm more educated than you, you fucking clueless moron." And yeah, she's just going at it. You have a feeling this is the only way that she can get out the catharsis. It's just to constantly have degrading thoughts about her husband.
And
I wonder if I should risk a meaningful look at her or not.
What was that, Danny?
I'm thinking, wow, they're a really tight team,
Yeah, to us they look.
They've got going on there. That's great.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you learn a couple of swear words in Elvish actually, because it's chopping and changing the two languages. Yeah, you're pretty sure that one of those was either an undercommon or abyssal.
That's good for
when the Lord turns around and says, "I think it best that I pay out of my pocket," Eric goes, "But of course, my lord, it was only an offer of good gesture." "Oh, of course. I understand. You've always been community-minded. But no, I think a little bit of impartiality is important here. Good move, putting the food with my guards. It's safe there. And I believe that you donated one of your own guards to stand with the food. Under the circumstances, probably a good idea. Thank you for bolstering the forces. I do need them out on the streets. So, now, how about it?"
We have a chance to go around the city a bit, and we met some of your Twin Axe tribe. Lovely people.
Yes, the Axe Cupola, yes, at Peerless Hunters.
Yes.
Oh yes, and they were quite delightful to talk to, actually.
Yeah, they were very polite.
I'm so glad that you're enjoying the civil discourse in my city. I'm afraid that some people will not be so civil there, but then again, they are suffering. Do forgive them. As a boon to me.
Yes. They seemed to think that for them to be able to go and hunt, they need a bit more food just to get out there, because currently they are, as with the Sun Horde, they are very big and strong people who, to maintain their muscle mass, they need a bit more food, and they're currently been wasting away and haven't been able to get out.
So a grant of food to do what exactly?
to
That
go out
makes
and
the-
hunt.
Ah.
They were talking about going out to hunt, but that they weren't able to get the food. It makes me wonder, considering you're talking about allocating the resources, wouldn't it be more profitable to send an extra bit to them instead of the
a single
other
grant
tribes?
of food to get them to go out and find food for themselves. Well, that sounds like an investment, doesn't it, Arik? At which point,
I switch over to him.
oh, okay. As you switch over, the wife goes, "Here it comes," and Arik. You said you switched to Arik, yeah?
Yeah.
Arik turns around and says, "Well, we can't spend too much of our food on this, but I suppose a single grant money, what a small one to get them going. I mean, once they're into the desert, they'll be able to do this to themselves. Do this for themselves. Maybe even bring back some meat. I think it's a reasonable idea. We must be open to reason after all." At which point, in his mind, he goes, "You want to give them only the bare minimum, and you feel like they're pushing their luck. Yes. Well. Yes.
Ooh.
I think a small grant of food. I wouldn't want them to be taking advantage, using these promises as yet unfulfilled as a reason to gorge themselves before they go out. I think the necessary minimum to change to our plan. I think that would be acceptable. Do you think that, Arik? Whatever you say, my lord, of course."
Ooh.
Sorry, I just realised Arik and the Lord have similar voices. I do apologize.
No, I just noticed something with his thing, and I kind of... What do I need for message? Okay.
Do I know? I don't know if I would with my background, but do I know? Is there normally a written contract for these kind of things?
More something.
You know, when we hand it over, or is it basically just a receipt? You know, we're getting.
Depends on who you're working with. Merchants, every time. There's a bill of sale every time. When you're dealing with pirates, not always. Normally, it's a verbal thing. Your honor, your word is a big thing when you're a pirate and selling off the books, as it were. You're selling on the books here.
Yeah,
there would be a bill of sale for you being paid, but the actual distribution of what they do when they buy your food, that's up to them.
That's up to them.
Yeah.
You've taken an interest, and they're tolerating that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
This is still a negotiation, is that we haven't agreed a price and we haven't hands down said we are selling this. This is the negotiation.
I mean, for us, the
It's
food
because you
is
held
just...
back that you're doing this at all.
Yeah, the food we don't really care about. Well, we care about trying to get this right, because we know that these guys have been screwing over everybody else. Or, well, we think these guys have been screwing over everybody else with their, with their turtle thing. I'm using another meta magic point to cast a subtle message to Ava.
Well, message you can do quite subtly anyway, because you just need to be able to point. You can point under the table.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the message spell. There's two things about the message spell that I tend to deviate from D&D. First of all, it says that you have to whisper the words. I say that you can say it in your head. So it is a mental message.
Well, the target and only the target hears the message. It says in the spelling.
Yeah, but it does say that your lips have to move or something as part of it.
So
I disagree with that.
lips.
So as long as you point under the table, and think the message gets transferred.
Yeah.
So everybody, including the Skags, has received a message spell before. They know how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
So I will send a message to Ava and be like, the Duke is being played. Also, pretty sure he's being charmed or dominated by the. Can you check with detect magic?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's like. Let's Felicia, pull up your spells and actually check what is needed.
Yeah, I was about to say I got to
them.
pull up my spell book to find out what's required for detect magic.
Yeah.
Because
I
casting a
need
spell at the
D&D
table
Beyond
is the
because
height.
my app doesn't tell me that.
Yeah, so that's why I took subtle spell, because it's so good in these
Yeah.
situations.
Oh yeah, that
in
subtle
these
spell when you're being a
situations,
spy
it's
is amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're just doing
yeah.
a straight dungeon, it's not the best.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Detect magic spell. Let's see.
Visual
Verbal.
and
Verbal and somatic.
So she has to say the words.
Yeah.
hmm And she can't settle that.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's a somatic, that's a sleight of hand check. So
But
you can, if
you
you're good at
could-
sleight of hand,
Simon,
you can
Simon, how long have we been in this room?
do. Probably about. You're going through the courses, so you've probably been in here at least 10 minutes.
I mean, you can go into the kitchen, cast a spell, and then come back.
Yes.
Make an excuse.
I'm using all the wrong knives and forks, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's fine.
I'm being an absolute barbarian.
They don't
Inside.
Yeah, they don't seem to be surprised. But yes, Ava, if you wanted to excuse yourself to go get a different kind of salts or whatever.
Yeah, I
you are
might
the chef
excuse
after all.
myself to go and get the drink for the next course, like another wine or something that we had prepared, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just go and get the wine for the next course. I'll be back
Of course,
in just
you're
a
excused.
moment.
You, of course, are the orchestrator of this fine meal. By the way, I'm loving what I'm tasting so far. It's fantastic to have something different. I mean, our garden provides for the palace, of course, but of course, it's always the same thing. So I do ask Cook to try to mix it up a bit, experiment with what she has. But she is rather set in her ways, I'm afraid. Good, solid fare. We eat very well. I am very grateful. But
Yes.
it's fantastic to have a little bit of difference here.
Yes. I assume that my detect thoughts have run out by now.
Probably by now.
yeah.
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 So
It's a minute, and whatever you do that in conversation time is like kind of hard to be like.
Yeah.
There was with the last one when I rolled the dice to see how long it took to go to the next thing. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll allow the wife to say, here we go, and for the guy to reveal his hand.
Yeah.
Ava, you go out. You come back in with what is a bottle of wine that's very like a bottle of wine that was already on the table. Slight difference to label, and you go, this one's better. They were both much of a muchness. And he goes, well, I must pair the wine, listen to me. And while you went outside, you basically did the whole verbal somatic thing. And your eyes flashed momentarily, and now you can see magic. Yes, you do see that there is illusion and enchantment pouring off Eric. Eric takes one look at you and insight check.
Ooh, do I get an insight check?
Yeah, because my detect thoughts is now gone.
You're gone. Yeah. So now you're down to insight checks.
Well, that is a 19 on the dice, and I have a +7. So,
Wow.
You don't know that yet, Scumfuse. So
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
What have you done?
Actually, now that I think of it, Scumfuse, roll me a d20.
Oh, no.
But the
Oh no. What have you done?
sorry, what was that?
26.
That's either very good. Or
Oh, I lost time.
Okay, so 26. Yeah, you can see that the second that the Rosali looks up at you and goes, "Oh, the what?" And he kind of falters, not so much that anybody else goes, "Oh, I believe that's a Chacona, isn't it? A very good choice of wine." He's looking straight at your eyes, and not in a way that he's making eye contact. He's glaring at your eyes. You think that you know that he is also on detect magic at the moment, because his eyes are glowing, and to him, your eyes are glowing. And also to you, you can see that Scornfuse's explosive knife is next to the cheese board.
Grab it.
Walking over there, I
Amazing.
pick up that knife and stuff it in my back pocket. I told you not to use that knife. We need a nicer one.
Hi, Minion.
So, I like the fact that Minion seemed to know what the knife did right from the start. So,
Yeah.
Maybe Minion's been lurking. I don't know.
it could be. So yeah, he did pocket the explosive knife, and yeah. So you rolled high karma, and that was high karma is you see it in time. Low karma is you don't see it in time.
Well, Scorpfuse rolled a natural 20 on the thing, by the way.
Yeah, the natural 20 was high karma. High karma is you spot it in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she spotted it well in time, where she's just like, no. Why do I have a feeling this knife is going to do the rounds? So yeah, he's glaring at you, well, scrutinizing you.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to check some stuff so that it wasn't tampered. You know how it is. And I look straight at the Rosali.
And quite so. The Rosali has got a full-on ambassador's face on now. He's got the kind of muscle jawline where the smiling is starting to be an effort. And he takes a sip of the wine and says, so, I believe it's on to the next course, and I believe that's the
Main course.
What is that? It's some form of dried steak with spices on it, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yes, aged.
And that
It's
goes
a special
with
technique.
the blue bottle, I believe.
Yes, the blue bottle.
And
The
you
knife.
pour out this beautiful.
It's
I
not
basically
milk.
like serve it myself, doing the whole shebang,
The little
playing it
twist
up.
at the end.
Yeah.
The Rosali is looking at you. You can see these burning eyes over the 10 minutes that this goes on, and he seems
Do I
to
know?
be.
Do I? Is that very obvious to everybody on the table that there's something going on?
Yeah.
The Rosali seems to have suddenly become less, become less favourable towards Ava. Like he just seen something that he doesn't like, but you can't see what they see. I mean, for both of them, both of their eyes that are like fucking fireworks.
Yeah.
But that's between them two.
But otherwise, it's just
Is there
a slight
anything
rise
else
in,
I
like,
see in the
tension.
room, by the way, Simon, except for the
yeah.
enchantment and stuff on the Duke?
Yeah, you can see that there is a magical dagger on the Duke. There is a small, delicate magical dagger on the Lady of the House. She also has jewelry that gives her armor class. So she has some of the
Lady
stuff
of
around her
class
neck.
it is.
Yeah, and she's got an earring in that cancels poisons.
Oh my god, Scorpius and Arvid's conversation is hilarious.
I must
Try
admit,
not to read it while role playing. So
I go back and I reread the chat once I finish doing this to see the stuff that I missed. So you pour out what you know is blessed wine, and sure enough, as you're pouring it, there is the slightest shimmer that, thanks to the quite shiny it's a sparkling bottle, seems to be little flecks in the glass, in the blue glass. It's almost indistinguishable in the flickering candlelight around, presumably something that Nikala has figured out. You do see on Nikala there are low-level magical fields on the charm bracelet that she's got. There's what seems to be certain shimmers in her clothing, kind of little flecks of energy. And that's actually kind of spell threat, effectively. Yeah. And these low-level protections, you know, are the kind of low Wiccan kind of protections that just build up as part of them being spirits. There are other little magical items around that you would expect in a lordly estate. I'm not going to go through them all, but these are the ones that are any form of significance. You do see that there is a burning wand up the Rosalia's right sleeve. And so that's heavily enchanted. Probably has spells stored in it.
And we have no weapons with us. Correct?
Was I allowed to bring my crystal ball?
Probably yes. It's not an overt weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably would have been told to leave staffs and wands.
Warhammers.
The ball, yeah, warhammer, yeah. Even if it is ceremonial, then but I'd say you probably got away with a little orb, little crystal orb.
Yeah.
They probably just saw it as a bauble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
Alphonse
guards
has
here
like
are
a
not
prayer
the best.
bead thing, don't you? Like,
It's a bracelet.
the bracelet.
Yeah, because they can trust in the gods.
Just
They trust that
focus.
the gods will not do anything to them. So yeah, he has a prayer beads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see all of that. And the Lord takes it and goes, "Oh, that's wonderful. Beautifully spiced. Did you warm it up? Put it on the
Just a
the
little
oven.
bit. It makes
It's
it so much better.
It's a
don't you think?
specialty from Naruka.
It has a honey taste. Naruka, I didn't even know they did rum. Yes, it's a no. Now that you mention it, there's a touch of the exotic about this. I pre-rolled, by the way, so it makes the game flow easier. Eric takes it and goes, "Oh, I quite concur. This is, I think this is the catch of the delivery here. You really have given us the best here. I'm quite humbled." The lady of the house puts it to her lips and goes, I really wish you were still detecting her thoughts right now. But yeah, so
I mean, I have another spell slot for detect thoughts if I really
we
want
don't
to.
know to. So she just gives a little, and they go, yes.
You're right there.
And he undoes his top button and goes, I thought that we were going to have some argy-bargy, or some negotiation or something. It's clear that you are treating us to the finest that's available, and I must admit I misjudged you. I do apologize. I didn't expect you to be aggressive or anything, but traders coming in from the sea, knowing that they supply what we currently demand, I half expected you to rinse us dry, and really all you've been asking for is what good it's going to do. It was really rather responsible of you. Eric kind of stifles a yawn. Yes, my lord. I confess, he's still looking at Ava. I confess, he looks and scrutinizes his glass.
Oh.
That I haven't rolled for.
No.
He rolled a 7. He looks at it for a second and goes, and he starts to change his tack and goes, "You must understand, lady." And he speaks directly to Ava, even though you guys haven't really established who's the leader here. But I mean, she's the chef, and he knows that she's the one who's currently looking at him and scanning him. And he kind of slouches slightly in his chair.
Does it
Gives
look
you what
like
you think-
he's like dropped some of the magic he's using to control the other guy? Or...
No, it's still actively going.
Yeah.
I'll be getting Felicia to do a roll in a second for something different, but he gives what he thinks. Actually, I don't have to say what he thinks. he flashes you what seems to be a charming smile and says, "My lady, you need to understand that these are pressing times where we need to drive forward the need for action, decisiveness. And I press myself to that very end. As such, I do everything within my power to ensure fairness and to ensure a swift solution. I would like you to make an insight check to start with, and all of you guys can do this.
I'll try.
Yeah, I'm not good at this either.
I am so glad I am finally playing a wisdom person, because I get to roll insight very well.
I have the amazingly high score of 7.
You
Nice.
think that he is telling the truth about this.
Right.
That you think you might have got him wrong.
Yeah, and
Oh,
and
Miss
even
Eel,
if-
thank
even
you
if
so
he
much
isn't,
for the
I'm
one-
loving
Thank
this.
you, E-hole, because that's a dirty 20.
I got, I think I did 13 or 14. Let me check. No, 13. My insight is 0.
And Jordan?
Your insight is called Detect
A
for
12.
Bots.
Yeah.
So you guys all cannot find a single lie within his statement. That doesn't mean that you trust him, but you're starting to go, "Oh, is there more to this?" And you get like a moment of doubt, grain of doubt in your plan. He's still staring at you with detect magic. You're still staring at him, and everything that you've heard, Corinne, and have relayed quickly to Ava, that still stands. I mean, that's probably still outweighing the balance for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why I got you all to roll individually, because you can't communicate with each other except by with message. So some of you will have different opinions now, or slightly guarded opinions. And he says, "You must understand. This is why we've brought those who have knowledge, education." He gestures his hand without looking at it, so you know this is kind of a backhanded compliment, literally. The wisdom of the Wari, and then of course those born to rule. At which point, Corinne, I'm just going to give it to you.
Yeah.
The smile that the wife gives stops at the eyes, and the eyes are saying, "Yeah, like fuck."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, he says, I only want what's best, and it's clear that you've invested. But now I think it's time to, I think it's time to make the deal, don't you? Are you okay with our Lord paying and distributing in a fair manner for which he is known?
We would like to see the plans, because what we've seen in the city seems to have favored certain tribes and left certain tribes on the wayside.
The Lord addresses you immediately. Well, to be blunt, you have had, a day, not even that, to assess what I have been assessing ongoing for quite some time. I appreciate your input, but make no mistake, I am the Lord of the city.
Lord,
I
how
wish.
often do you leave the palace?
Ooh, good question.
I make it my policy, young man, to visit the barrios on a weekly basis. And I have petitioners coming in here all the time, so the city comes to me. And yes, I am aware that we have some yet as undeveloped and some gone to ruin buildings from our past that will be renovated, brought to the same standard as you see elsewhere in the city in due course. But at the moment, we are in a moment of emergency. Now, to your comment, lady, I shall not be giving you figures. I am saying how this is going to be distributed in terms of portion.
Question, Simon.
Mhm.
Is the other guy's eye still glowing? Because I assume he used his spell earlier than I did.
Yeah, you can see that his eyes are over the course of 10 minutes. You'll see that his eyes are dull down. He would have done his as before he came in, so you've got an overlap of quite a lot. I'd say you probably got an overlap of probably about 6 minutes,
With a
Yeah.
mouthful
because
of
he would have fired it off just before you guys came in, so he could assess you.
with a mouthful of steak and a bit of juice, you can damage it, which I might wipe a little bit. I say, Lord Farouk, what's your long-term plans to address this situation? Is a bit of food distributed from what we have, it's not going to make much of an impact. I hope you've got some kind of plan.
We do indeed. So we have sent out to attempt to destroy this pirate faction that is taking our food. Now, we believe that the faction may be of the Seven Sails. So a good, honest traders like yourselves. And he kind of looks around and then kind of looks around again like yourselves.
Yes, with our all
7 sails? Really?
We'll, yeah, he kind of looks at you and kind of goes, actually, you kind of give me a bit of a vibe. Yeah.
I've heard terrible things about them.
Yeah, terrible, truly terrible things.
As have I. They
People
are
that are
bad.
just cheat and, squander resources and do terrible things to people.
The worst I've heard of are the Forsaken.
The Forsaken, they do awful things to, corrupt rulers and shit like that.
Indeed. I would normally get you to do a deception check, but you're telling this guy what he wants to hear, so it's an automatic pass. Indeed. Ruffians. Yes, reinforce my negative bits. Yes, I do. Be judgmental with me. It's what the upper class do.
I kind of like give the warrior, I can't remember her name.
Nakala.
Nakala. I just kind of.
You can see that she.
As I say it, I just talk
she
her
is
as well.
poker
Simon, there was
face.
something I was thinking about for a while now. It took me a while to look up. But I saw that it was different things affecting the Duke.
Mm-hmm.
When it's a magical effect or such, can it be removed with lesser restoration, or is it the spell magic you used?
Let's get some water.
I think
Let
it's
me
spell.
take a quick look at lesser restoration.
Pretty sure it's the spell magic, but
It is probably the spell magic.
Well, I did say there was a second roll for you coming up. Lesser restoration, not summon lesser demon. That's good.
I think
Okay.
also,
I think so.
Mr. Ehol, thank you for the bets. We were middle role playing.
Thank you very much. So, give me an Arcana check, Ava.
Oh, no.
Good luck.
I have a +2
Yeah, you're probably gonna get like 8.
guidance.
He doesn't know that you're doing this. This is in your head.
Yeah.
Plus it'd be obvious,
Yeah.
like me doing that.
Yeah, guys,
Because
That's a 19 on the dice.
you keep rolling really high.
I know, but that's because I'm switching dice every time, so not one of them is allowed to fuck me over, I think.
Okay.
Intimidating your dice. That's scary.
But anyway, that's a 21 on Arcana, and I'm so happy.
You can see that that as you look at the magic that's emanating off Harik, it seems to be kind of settling, almost like a mist. And at first you think it's going into the Lord's bracelet, bone bracelet. But then you realize that it's going into his blood. And it seems to be going Give me either a alchemy check or a herbalism check. But thanks to this one, it has lowered the diff.
Herbalism? Because I don't have alchemy.
Herbalism will do. Yeah.
Herbalism wisdom based?
Yes, it would be wisdom based. Yeah. Herbalism usually is.
Yeah.
Unless it's a preparation thing, which requires again like dexterity, or if it requires making something new, which is
fucking jinxed me. That's an 8 on the dice. Thank you.
But you got a +7, so that's a 15.
So it's a 15.
It's a 15. Okay,
But that's
still
a
enough.
low score in my wisdom-based character's roll.
It's still enough, though. It's still enough. You have a feeling that at some point, Eric gave the Lord something that is basically like a lightning conductor or a magnet. That he's ingested a potion or something that means that he's able to do a form of subtle spell link between himself and the Lord. Presumably to do this kind of suggestion/domination effect. Domination, is quite overt, so it's probably more along a suggestion effect. Because after suggestion, you have no idea it's been done upon. It's the ultimate subtle spell. To your answer of, would lesser restoration help? Kind of. Because it gets rid of poison. Or the poisoned condition. Dispel magic would, of course, overtly smash it and reveal that it was there in the first place. Whereas a lesser restoration, carefully applied, would just stop the Lord from being under the influence. But he's already been influenced.
Well,
He won't stop any
luckily,
further influence.
you gave me the answer that I wanted. Because I packed Cure Wounds and Dispel Magic. Not Lesser Restoration, which was why I asked. Okay, so please tell me it's not the one I didn't pack. Because I packed one high-level thing and a low-level thing.
Okay, I thought Jordan had lesser anyway.
No.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't.
We got Felicia for that because she could just chop and change her spells while sorcerers are just stuck with whatever we pick. Unless you go with
I have some good stuff.
So, they carry on talking, and mostly they're bringing this to a close. At this point, it would be unreasonable for you not to sell them the food. They start to, because they are politicians, and I'm going to
You
kind
don't
of
have
draw
a
this
price
in.
yet, though, do we?
They offer you easily twice the amount that it's worth.
What level is Suggestion, Corinne? My walking D&D
Suggestion is a second level spell.
He could have cast it at a high level, but it's second level starting.
Yeah. High level only affects more targets. But yes, he could have if he wanted to have a higher level one, yes.
Yeah, and it could be that the DM just chooses that it's a higher thing. Because Arcanist.
I'm going to pass Lady Fruit some cheese.
Yep, she takes it quite happily, takes the non-exploding knife, and takes the barest sliver. You can see with Dargle, you've seen people wield knives before. The way that she cuts this wafer thin, like you can almost see through the cheese.
That's impressive.
Clearly she's gained something from her elven ancestry. And she takes out this, as I say, near transparent bit of cheese and starts to nibble on it like the world's cutest half-human hamster. This kind of thing, but with a look of absolute joy, more joy than anyone's ever had from cheese. But just everything about her is so melodramatic, and yet it doesn't seem out of place to the Lord, at least. For the rest of you, you're like, is this woman real?
Yeah.
I'll cut a wedge and
I just kind of I give her a very very sympathetic look.
I'm getting nothing from any of this, so I'm just happy just
nothing,
gorging myself on this fantastic food after spending months years.
And as for the
marriage.
dessert, now this is my specialty, so I hope you'll forgive me for doing a bit of flair as I present it. And I'm basically gonna distract them by using druid craft to make the flowers around the plate bloom as I'm setting it down.
Like it. Okay.
Nice little
And
flare.
then I'll cut a slice to bring to the Duke. And as I do so, I will also cast the spell magic third level on him.
Okay. Okay. So going for it.
Oh, I'm gonna try something.
So as you come up, what's your spell save DC?
Well, any spell of third level or lower on the target ends.
Oh no,
But
just
if
need,
it's higher
just
than
need the
that,
stat.
it's my
15 should be.
Yeah, spell DC 15.
Okay. So that was the Lord, and then he gets advantage.
Also remember, we did the distraction with the flowers and everything.
Oh yeah. That's why this is a roll. Yeah, you earn the right to get a roll because otherwise it's just no good spell. So you kind of, the flowers suddenly bloom. This seems to genuinely, I think you've got the first genuine look of surprise and pleasure from her ladyship.
Yeah.
As she watches the flowers explosively bloom before your eyes. There's a
Like a
well
real-life
done.
time
And as
lapse.
you do so, you kind of do with a flourish, a kind of spell over the top, and Lord Farouk doesn't get it at all. He doesn't understand what you've just done. But the look of Rictus on Eric's face shows that he knows exactly what you've done. Yeah, sorry, he got a 17 on the dice alone, and he's just there, like, kind of thing, and you can see he's kind of, there's, as I say, it's
He
a
can't do
Rictus of
anything.
hatred, but also of fear. As the Lord suddenly goes, How very, very impressive. You must be introduced to my druid.
Oh, you have one. I thought so when I saw the
Oh
gardens.
yes,
They
my
were
master
beautiful.
gardener. Fantastic. I mean, the whole thing wouldn't work without it. I'll introduce you to him personally, I think. Wouldn't that be nice, Arik? I think maybe they might learn something from each other. I
Well,
bet
true,
you
is
haven't
it?
made trees bloom all year round and to the highest yield of fruit you've ever seen from a tree. And Arik is kind of looking over as if to say, is it dispelled? Is it not dispelled? His detect magic's gone. He's kind of like, he goes,
Lord Farouk, is
he
it?
pauses for a second, and you have a feeling he's kind of putting the command together in his head, and he goes, after the meal, of course. And he goes, yes, well, of course, after the meal. Yes, of course, after the meal. And there he goes. It's got really awkward now. Between the two of them, it flowed so much before, and now it's kind
And
of.
I want to jump in at this point.
Yeah, do we notice?
yes,
do we
Dal.
notice
Yeah.
it's gone weird?
So yeah, if I notice this disconnect, and more possibly out of social awkwardness, I'll just say, well, because we've had dessert.
Well, we're having dessert.
We're having
dessert. I've
Yeah, we
already
just
had
got
it, and
Yeah, it's
I
our
just
shuffle.
served it.
I'd say, Lord Farouk, with all due respect to everyone around the table, is it a good idea that we sign for this in private? Just us
And you.
yourself, and plus any guards.
Do me
I
a
think maybe
persuasion check with
sign this.
advantage, because at this point, Lord Farouk seems to be not glaring at you, but studying you all as you're speaking.
Okay, I got 15 plus 1. And I'm glad it was an advantage because my other one was 2.
Because I think that would be proper. Who is going to be the who amongst you is the bill holder for this? Who am I signing against?
Oh, it would be me, sir.
Very well then. In that case, yes.
So I'll stand
we
up and start and like get gesture to lead him out of the room with my back turned to Eric.
He finishes off the dessert and goes, delightful. Normally we have important cigars afterwards, but I think we can waylay that for now. A little bit later.
Yes.
As you say, once the business of the day is done. I mean, this is a midday meal after all, and I don't want to get schnockered before
you guys
the
get the business done. Me and Alphonse will stay here with Eric and talk. You did mention some interesting stuff earlier.
I would greatly appreciate your company, Miss Ava. And Nakala, you'll be staying with me, won't you? At which point Nakala goes, all right. And she's just completely dropped the airs and graces just for a second. Just gone, all right.
Is the lady joining us?
The lady goes, I think after so much food, would like to take the time to reflect upon the day and do my tapestry.
Sure.
I thank you all. She stands up and you can hear the straining of her corset as she gets up. You have a feeling that she wanted to eat this very nice food that's, as has already been mentioned, separate to all the all of the others. All the other meals that they've had, and because she's eaten everything, the corset is not playing ball with her anymore. She's pinched at the hips that even a half elf struggles to achieve.
You might want to ease up on the tight line. Oh, I don't say that. I'm not Eclipse.
No, you're not Eclipse. You're not Eclipse. You do not state the obvious every time.
Yeah,
and
you might want to ease up on the tight lacing.
And she gets up, and there is a complaining from the whaleboning of her corset that everybody is too polite to say anything about, and she starts to walk out to the ladies' door, which is this little.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Very nice.
Of course, and to have such, you can tell she's a bit faint, to have such wonderful people coming to give such finery to us. I'm all of a flutter. At which point she, to demonstrate how much of a flutter she's at, pulls out a fan and opens it a little too fast. Dalgal, are you here with?
Oh, we're still around the table. We're just about to leave. So.
About to leave.
Dalgal, you tell me wherever, however far they've got, but.
You're still in the room. I'll say you're still in the room. I want you to do me an attack roll.
Oh.
I wonder if that woman's trying to turn something into paper. Probably Scumfuse. That is probably what she's trying to do. And also, please, I'm gonna ban Scumfuse from milking Dave. That is.
I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2 plus your stuff.
Okay, yeah.
As if it was an attack.
So 9 in total.
9 in total. So you don't get everything, but the way she opened her fan triggers something in the back of your head, and you go, "Why was that important?" She flutters the fan daintily and walks out through the ladies' door. It's very important. It's one of those old set-out things. There's the Lord's door, the ladies' door. Goes to the various chambers.
But nothing's happened.
No, doesn't seem to be anything like that. Yeah, she. It was just something about how she snapped the fan open that just. You're not sure what it was. You head out.
Anyway, would
with Ava and
Shirin have
Lord.
noticed what Ava did, or like in any way communicated after I came back into the room? Because you never said anything, and I kind of assumed you would like message me again.
Yes, I will message you like when you say like all of that, and when I noticed, because I assume I noticed the shift in his behavior as well, like when he's like.
You know that something's happened. The air changed.
Yeah.
And it's clear that Nakala's seen something because she's fucking pleased as punch.
Yeah. And I.
Yeah. I think I can answer to message.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, because then I would basically say that I removed whatever effect.
Yeah,
was
I'm basically gonna say, did you remove it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that will
Ava,
make the next part
Shrin,
so much
you-
easier when you go and talk to him.
Yeah.
Ava, do you need help here clearing up, or Shrin, do you need?
Well,
need-
if you would
do you
like to
need
come with me, Dagal,
Yeah.
if it would be very, very nice.
I'll throw a bit of cheese to Scorpius.
So, as Ava then is going with the Lord alone.
No,
Go
I'm.
ahead.
It's
No,
Shirin
Shirin.
and Doggle
Shirin,
who's going
yeah.
with the Lord. Ava and Alphonse are staying with Eric and.
Well, he's going. He's asked you, Ava, to come with him to go and speak to the gardener.
Oh yeah,
yes.
that was it.
So Ava is the one that has to go.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
we misunderstood it then.
Yeah, 'cause-
he said, "Oh, I'll introduce you to my gardener," and he's kind of ushering you
Well,
out.
you said because Daggle said to go and sign the thing, which he asked who was the one, and that was me.
for Corinne. So I think it's Ava and Corinne that's going with the Lord,
Okay.
which leaves Dalgal and Alphonse with Eric.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
you guys have fun.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So 2 separate challenges.
But we don't really know. What
We don't really know what's going on with us.
Yeah.
and
You're just like,
just
well,
like,
this
why
got
have
weird.
you left us with Like, we just noticed he got a bit weird. That's about
Yeah.
it. We think he's fine.
So
maybe
this is how
the-
it goes. This is how
Well,
it goes.
because that
Yeah.
we wanted me and Felicia split up so we could be with different groups. So
It's not how it's panned out, but don't
No.
worry. Have faith. Have faith in your. You know, the boys can deal with the situation. Don't worry. So as you go
sure
out
that now?
Thing.
into the
I don't
the
trust.
garden
Do not
with
trust.
the Lord, you can see that Eric, Nikala, and yourselves, there's all airs and graces until the Lord and the Lady both leave. At which point, looking around and suddenly making a gesture where the walls ripple, which you guys have seen the privacy spell before. It's kind of canonical amongst Valeria. It's fairly common. In fact, it's one of the most common spells. Stops sound from being from penetrating the walls of the room. I suppose you think you're clever.
To you
Well,
two.
Actually,
Just to us too.
Yeah.
that's rare. It's rare that I think I'm clever.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
The Lord seems confused. He seemed to get some of the clans mixed up.
I thought that
It
went,
seemed
I
a
thought
bit
quite
off.
well, actually.
I was preparing a particular protection spell. And Nikala goes, "Oh, give it up. You weren't protecting him, you were influencing him. I was keeping his mind clear of the logic. Now he is going to be prone to emotional outburst, as he has always been. Look at him now, flitting through the garden with the ladies. He'll be back to gambling soon. I've been keeping him focused to the comment to the task at hand, and now Nikala goes, "Oh please, you've been playing him into your pocket. And what for? You don't need the food. What's your game? I do not play games, Nikala." Insight check for both of you boys.
Go, boys.
I'm not good at insight.
Ooh, 19.
Ooh.
What are you good at?
Well done.
1, 20.
I'm
Dalgal,
good at speaking.
Dalgal, you've had people pull fast one in taverns, even when you've seen some service before, people who are just trying to give you a rough deal, and you're just there like, this guy's full of it. You're just seeing it now. When it was structured and it was full of airs and graces, great. But now that he's kind of talking frankly, you're just like, now you are my fucking man.
Didn't.
And
Hello,
you just spot the bullshit right from the start. He's giving platitudes. He's trying to half convince you, but he also doesn't care. He's just offended that you're meddling with his meddling, and it becomes transparent to you that what the guys have been doing.
No.
And that you know that some sort of their mumbo jumbo has gone up against his mumbo jumbo, and they out-mojoed his mojo. And it's just, you don't need to know the fine details. You just know that he lost. And Nikala I'm going to.
Don't worry.
If you want, you can do an Arcana check, both of you.
Do I think he's
don't worry,
about to
Dylan.
do something?
No, it's Nakala that's doing something.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
rolled 18. Minus 2, 16. My rolls are either
Nice.
high or really low. So,
I also got a 16 on the Arcana check.
So, with a sleight of hand, that means that he can't see it, but she can. Sorry, that he can't see it, but you can, because you're sat opposite them. He's sat immediately to her right. She goes to pour herself some more of the wine, and putting the bottle and the glass. Not that he seems to care about that. He's already scanned the food after all. She pours the wine, and looking at you, suddenly pours some of the wine on the floor not accidentally, deliberately. Yeah, I was about to say accidentally. It's not accidentally. She's looking at you in the eye. She pours some of the wine, puts the bottle down, and then pours just a drop, tiny little drop of wine off.
Oh.
Wild magic burst. This might be relevant.
Oh my
Okay.
Oh my
okay.
fucking god. In that case, Eric is the one that's stressed. He's the one getting the wild magic burst.
good entrance.
Good or bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's do it. Kate, you've got some fucking timing.
That was brilliant.
Please turn him into potted plant. Please turn him into potted plant.
Go on, see you in a
No,
couple.
This could get
summon
great.
Steve.
Either Steve or Potted Plant, I will not be disappointed. Kate, can you exclamation point D100? Because the viewers get to roll it themselves now.
Yeah.
22.
That is not Steve.
No, that's not Steve. Okay.
Viable.
Good to know. Good to know. And something that might be relevant. So, he
Trust?
you watch as Nakala, in line with him, so it's almost impossible for Eric to see it, and he's not particularly invested in doing so. He's locked on you. She pours a little bit of the wine out of the goblet, and it hits the floor soundlessly because carpeted, right? And as she's looking at you, she goes, neither of you have the observant feat, I believe? No. Okay, so neither of you read lips. She's clearly done something. And she takes a sip of the wine, smiles, puts the wine down, cups her hands over themselves, just sat there, and closes her eyes as she seems to be savouring the wine. But the tipping out of the wine seems a little significant. Sorcerer, give me an Arcana. It'd be Arcana or Religion, check your choice.
Ooh, religion. I am good at religion.
Yeah,
I'll do that one.
Can I look at the wine on the floor? Can I
Ooh,
just like
that's a 19.
If you do try to look, you'll be looking under the table, and seeing as there's ladies present, looking under the table is not considered good polite society.
I am a barbarian.
Even in regular tables, it's considered. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, the last time you did that in a tavern, you ended up with a pretty sharp boot to the face.
How I've got one of my scars. There's a story behind it. And I think the rest of it
There's a story behind this one. It's not a very interesting one. There's a story behind this one.
I probably deserved it as well.
Yeah.
Jordan,
That's a 19.
a 19.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that there is a practice of honoring one's ancestors by tipping out the first sip of a drink, either onto a hearth or in general just on the floor, and devoting it to an ancestral spirit or spirit, a guardian spirit in general. And you know that this is a cornerstone of witchcraft.
Ah. Interesting.
She's just cast a spell, very subtly, without subtle spell, but she's cast a spell very carefully, knowing that he'd be distracted because he is looking daggers at you two, trying to figure out what your part in all of this is, as he's arguing his case. And she's and opens her eyes.
Scorpius is touching
And
everything, by the way.
leaning, she starts sipping at the wine. And we cross over to the girls.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, you must speak to my gardener. Horace, please, come over here. Horace, yes, fantastic. Watch the door. Horace goes off and watches the door.
Ooh.
What was that? You released me from something. I felt it pop in the back of my head.
A suggestion spell.
Damn it! By who?
Your
The
dear.
Rosali, if I'm correct, because I
He's
did
been
a
a-
look.
He's been a friend and ally for years. What are you on about?
Dear Erik, yes. They're playing at something.
He's provided me with charms, enchantments, and all sorts for a long time, and I get regularly tested for spells. Damn it!
It was.
By who?
By my alchemist. I have somebody that's. Oh, I better check if he's been turned.
It's an unfortunate
I suggest you
reality, my
talking to
lord,
your
but
wife.
I believe your court has been compromised. The ones plaguing your shores are not pirates, I assure you.
Well, how would you know that if you do not mind me asking?
Because
Because
we.
we just killed a thing that was doing it.
It was a.
What?
Let me tell you about what we found out in the water. It was a ship, but it had a mutated turtle thing that was making it swim around without wind. Piloted by this sounds insane, I'm sure. Piloted by people who had been mutated by biomancy.
Biomancy. Yes, I hear that it's all the rage in the richer states. A little bit more muscle here, more symmetrical face.
Yes, this biomancy is biomancy gone wrong. We have there are some leftover crew members that we managed to save that we could show to you if you doubt.
They're just
Look at
sparing.
Dave.
The crew that were the original crew on that ship were just barren, and the ones who weren't were people they had salvaged from the ships they destroyed. And then
One of the members
burned.
we found was a I keep forgetting the word.
Tanakahi.
Tenakahi.
Tanakahi.
Tenekai.
Tenakahi.
Someone is making monsters out of the Just Baron people, and you notice that there is a divide. He doesn't consider himself Just Baron.
Yes.
Ah.
Someone's. Well, that's bloody bad for business.
Business.
Yes.
Well, yes, they've been.
Quite interesting considering they're making sure that any routes that would lead to your city are the ones being disrupted.
And
Why would that make any sense? The Rosalia here.
yes, the
Who
Rosali
are
has
controlling
monopoly
the food? Who
on.
is the ones eating regularly compared to the other tribes?
Well, they say they're using magic to get the food.
Oh, really?
Really?
Because from the looks of it, they're just taking from the ships they've destroyed using their creations.
These are serious accusations, milady. I thank you for releasing me from Eric's indiscretion.
I suggest
It was
you
naughty of him, and he will be made to atone. But these are very serious accusations. You would need more evidence than this, and I don't see you as being any particular authority in Just Baron. However,
I suggest you have a chat with your wife. She seems very switched on.
my wife is a delicate flower. She always has been. Delicate disposition, I do not want to trouble her with this. I protect her. I make sure she lives in a life of
Oh boy.
of safety and refinement. If you do not mind, it is improper what you have just said, but I forgive you. These are difficult times. What I require from you is evidence.
The other clans. Obviously, it was obvious by the time we entered that the Rosali have been making sure you don't.
I shall make sure that I speak individually to each of the elders. However, if you are going to press this matter, I require evidence. Now, if you say the Rosali are doing so, and based on what you've said, that they are deliberately blocking my port, something that I take umbrage to, and I require outside help, because, as I say, the tribes are rarely, even the Wari, neutral. I need you to investigate. There are a number of Rosali holdings nearby that you may want to look into.
Oh, very much so.
Now that is what we came here for.
Be subtle. If they find you trespassing, there's nothing I can do to aid you. But
Fine.
if through your investigations you find evidence that I can tie to this monstrosity that you speak of, then I shall make sure that I use my influence with the other portholders. Portholders, by the way, tend not to be just barren. They are foreigners who came here and basically made ports. I shall make sure that we give the Rosali a difficult time.
Scrumfuse as if I have the tiara.
Well, that can be arranged. How long can you keep yourself safe and your mind intact?
So, Hermit, the only people in the room with you at the moment are Nakala, Arik, Dalgal, and Alphonse. But you can whisper it to one of the ladies on the way in if you wish.
Yeah.
Maybe go up to them with a platter or something. So, once again, thank you. But please do not consider my thanks an excuse for impropriety. I am still, as long as you're in this city, your lord, and I will have things done by the correct procedure.
Of course, my lord.
Now, if I take this into consideration and I start to speak to the elders and proportion it fairly, can we sign this damned contract so I can get started? People are starving, don't you know?
Of course, of course.
And I feel all the more guilty because I've just had what a wonderful meal.
Oh, don't worry. I used a quarter of what's usually necessary for making a meal like that.
How very efficient of you. But I would like to
One of
start
my
to feed my people,
specialties.
if you do not mind.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now let's get this done.
As I signed the thing, I say one person that you can probably get some more proof from who has been able to see what we've seen, who is one of the Tanakahi themselves, one of their high priests.
Their elder.
I know
Elder.
of who you speak. He is an elder and respected, and I have met with him before. I shall have him brought to me to substantiate the concerns that you have. But I will still need that evidence.
Of course.
I will not
course.
have decisions made simply on a popular vote. I
No.
deal in cold, hard facts, madam.
Yes.
Let's sign this contract, at which point a servant runs up and goes, my lord, I'm terribly sorry, never had to deal with this before, but there seems to be a small blue dragon wearing one of Cousin Imelda's dresses and one of her play tiaras. A small blue dragon? We don't have a pseudo dragon.
No, he's with us. Do not mind him. He's but a child. We are trying to help him after he lost his parents, you see.
He suddenly
Minded
cracks a
child.
smile and goes, I miss children in the palace, all mine and grown. And at this point, they're kind of like, yeah, your tiefling features will allow you to have a bit more of a cutting figure. He, as I say, he's in his 50s. And he goes, I'm glad my sons aren't here to have to be part of all this rubbish. Anyway, please go retrieve your boy and tell him to wipe off the tiara and make sure he doesn't break it. That was Imelda's favorite. When she comes back, she still dotes on that stuff.
I signed the contract, by the way.
Yeah, you sign it on one of the kind of like outdoor benches and stuff. I'm sure he's got like marble tables outside. And he says, "Thank you, lady, and I shall make sure this goes to the maximum good based on all the facts."
Good.
Anyway, you guys start to head in. In the meantime, Nikala scratches her chin and throws, actually out of the two of you, I think Dalgal gave him the most shit, so she'll throw it at you, and there's a message that appears in your head, Dalgal, where she goes, "I've managed to get what we're looking for. Stay polite. Look defeated." And as the Lord walks in with the two ladies, Nikala stands up as one of the maids, Hermit, goes towards you, Shirin. Nikala goes, "I'm terribly sorry, my lord. I've allowed myself to be oversated by this food when I have women and children that I need to feed. If you'll forgive me, I'll go back to the task at hand." She puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "You will forgive me." At which point, there's a moment, a pregnant pause between the two, and he goes, "But of course, Nikala, please." And gestures, and there's a kind of pensive moment from the Lord, and he goes, "Eric, I tire of this. I believe I too have had my fill. And I want to check on my good lady wife. I believe as she was leaving, she was looking quite faint." Eric is kind of, you can see he's kind of agonizing over whether to push his luck, maybe for a quiet audience with the Lord. And he goes, and he just kind of gives up and goes, "But of course." Stands up and, with barely disguised irritation, marches out of the palace. A good 30-foot plus behind Nikala. Nikala seems to be marching forward out of the door at speed.
Yes, Gormfuse, you are Princess Cabela III now. Please put the things back.
You need to return the tiara and clean it first.
Yeah, and Shirin, if you...
Yes, I did see one of the maids, our dear hermits, came to me and said that Nikala had cast a detect thought spell on. Yes. Which I nod.
So, with that, you're left pretty much. The Lord takes his leave. Being that Erika's already leaving, he looks around you all and goes, "Thank you." Stiffens up and marches off towards the ladies' door.
Ooh. Erika's...
He's following his wife there, right?
Oh yeah, he did say he was going to check on his good lady wife.
Erika's the...
Erika's the Nizali, yeah. So the Nizali left, and Nerika off back to the chapter house. Presumably you'll find her there. You're left to do the dishes and clean up. You do notice that when all the dishes come back, there is the butcher and the cook has already washed up some of the stuff in your absence. And when the platters come back, they take tidbits from the platters and they ask how you managed to do all these wonderful things.
And we just kind of let Ava prattle on.
And Ava swaps the things. Is there anything in particular you would like to ask them? You've gained their favor by giving them a day off and some tips.
Probably not, because it's 8 past 11.
I was going to ask just briefly.
I want to ask where he got his wonderful, wonderful chopper from. is
Yeah, his.
yeah,
He goes.
and just admire it and just be, glowing.
I don't know. The Lord kind of gets a load of these things, and I mean, I could do just as well with a well-honed iron one. But he says we need the best. Apparently, the light knives are pretty good, but I don't know. I like to feel the heft of something in my hand. And to tell you the truth, this adamantine stuff is pretty much the same weight as any of your good hardy steel. You should know Dwarven steel. It's packed full of all sorts of
I'd
stuff.
be happy to get you some Dwarven steel from my home. And get you plenty of them for this wonderful thing here.
Hey, my name's Mix. You send a letter to shake this giant lizard man hand around your kind of muscular dwarven hand. He goes, you send me a letter, my friend, and I will buy. I mean, I've only got that one good cleaver. You send me another.
Oh, you need spares.
I will happily.
You need loads of them.
You send me hooks. You send me stakes. I'll pay for it. I mean, he pays well. I mean, you got a choice. It's not exactly you got a bunch of chefs out there. You know what I'm saying? No problem. You do that. But between me and Maggie here, we managed to pull a little magic together. But you send me some good dwarven stuff, and I will. Yeah,
I'll get it to you as soon as I can.
Also,
lovely to meet you.
Scumfuse, we now need...
Scumfuse, roll me the last roll of the night, which is !D20 for the map you drew. You wily little bastard, use this thing. Oh, I go around all the...
Oh, wow!
What a good map.
So, little tug on one of your belts. And Scumfuse gives you what seems to be an incredibly expensive napkin that now has a full layout of the bottom floor, because you wouldn't have been allowed in the top floor, but a full layout of the bottom floor of the mansion.
I give him like some head pats. And also,
I'm pretty sure that if you ever wanted to come back and do a heist on this bitch, you'd be like set up because you already know the bottom the basement.
Yeah,
he's done the ground floor for you.
Yeah. Also, Scumfuse.
Valuable kobold.
I am repressed to ask for more art, but I have a need for Scumfuse in the little tiara, the dress.
So turn it in the maid's outfit.
Amazing.
Yes, and her with the maid outfit.
But don't force yourself.
Glory and
But know that we love it.
I mean,
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, you won't be able to beat Felicia, unless this is not a challenge, you won't be able to beat the number of drawings that Felicia has of Glory, but the Scumfuse gallery will still be appreciated.
And also Hermit in a maid outfit. If anyone draws that, I will love you forever.
So let's wrap up. You guys head out, and the second that you
Very
get
good,
out of the palace, and you start walking down the road, you notice that there is a double take that you have immediately. And yes, for those of you who are fans of a particular author, I'm taking this directly. It's not so much that she has used an invisibility spell, rather that she's just decided to stand in a particular way. The cracks in the particular building almost look like an outstretched arm. The mosses that are nearby, you could swear, if one were to bunch their hair up a particular way, would look the same. The scratches down the wall made by a cart that just got too close to this adobe building, you could swear almost looked like a dress. At which point, the crack, the moss, the scratches on the wall all seem to 1 minute be them, and the next minute, it can't. It's not that she was invisible, she just was less noticeable. And she steps forward. I know where he does not want you to see. He has a facility just down the coast. He has a small icon on him that would allow him to teleport there with the correct use of a spell, but I believe such magics are beyond us.
Yes.
And so you'll have to go in the old-fashioned way. I know the area somewhat from my own travels before coming here. That particular Rosali facility is run, well, served by a small village of people who we always thought were quite oppressed by them. I think we've found our weak link.
Very much so.
I'll get the messages out, but you need to start moving in that direction. Maybe cut your visit here short. We'll take it from here. As you head down, I will send messages to you with as much as I can determine. It's going to take you a couple of days. So you better get started.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get our boat again.
Yes, and I think a distance between you and Eric would probably be beneficial right now.
I think
Now
so
that
too.
He has, well, now that he knows that you are openly looking to stop him, you leaving will tend to Eric's ego. If I add to that by saying that you left in fear that the mighty Magi will somehow enact his vengeance on you, it should stroke his ego enough that he will be cautious and potentially pursue you through agents, warning ahead of time. But he personally will not be expending too much in terms of effort. I'm sure he'll be trying to re-influence the Lord. But
yes.
I have my own ways to help with that.
Yes, I think that
Thank
also
you
is
again.
good.
Yeah, you keep an eye on the Lord. He
Please
seems-
get in contact with his wife. His wife. Did you read her thoughts? Oh my god.
No, I. How did you know I could read thoughts?
Hermit here is very observant.
Very well. No, I make it a policy of never doing that unless absolutely necessary. I only read a week's.
Well, I'm the ship's spy master. My job is to read everybody's thoughts. The lady of the house is very switched on. If you can talk to her, you'll get so much more information.
Eleanor, she's vapid.
Oh, believe
no.
me, her thoughts. Oh my god.
Screaming.
Like screaming at like the Lord internally the entire time, calling him so many swear words I didn't even know.
A strong woman who scathing of her husband. She should have been in the worry. I shall make contact. Thank you. I believe I can. Yes, I think I can deliver her some ladies' herbs. That's going to be a conversation that no man, not least the Duke, not least the Lord, is going to be interested in. Should get me enough long time with her to crack that very expertly simpering exterior.
Oh yeah.
I shall find out more about that. Thank you very much. You've been a fountain of boons. I shall contact you directly, and whatever ship you're from, consider yourselves friends of the worry.
Thank you very much.
That is all we ask.
We will see you on the way back.
See you then. You head down to the breakwater, and I think it's Samwise. Yeah, Samwise Noakes is there, his thumbs tucked into his braces, and goes, "Well, you took long enough. I was able to go out, get crayfish and fish, and get back. Well, can we get going? The free folk don't like staying much for long.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel like a resident."
Yes, let's go.
Yes, it's been way too long.
Fish! Yes! I give Scornfuse a fish.
Let's set sail. The Noakes boat sets sail and meets back up with the way back. You are suddenly on a faster ship that cuts through the water with the greatest of ease, and once you report everything back to Captain Horn, she is impressed and says, "You know what? I'm starting to like how this crew is shaping up now.
Scornfuse.
Tell me when you get the message from the wise woman. We're going to make sure we do some good and some bad. Let's get on."
Let's go.
He calls for the crew to pull hard, and you see as the sails are pulled taut to make most advantage of the wind. You can see defrate dragons pulling, muscles bursting as they pull the ropes back, and the ship goes into its.
We collected Prime as well from being God.
Guarding the food. There's no food to guard anymore.
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't dragons that was guarding; it was Prime that was guarding. Okay, you head to. And because it only he only gets one per session, about half a day later, there's a sudden bang that goes off under the deck.
Oh no!
As Scornfuse drops the knife and it explodes, throwing Scornfuse up against a bulkhead. No damage because it's all narrative. And Scornfuse, you've lost your dagger. But you will get a new item next week. So
yes, you still wear your main
outfit
outfit
anyway.
Yeah.
Did anything happen that we know about with wild magic?
The wild magic, unfortunately, it was a bit of a tame one. 22 was that if you did end up getting into a fight with Eric, if you pushed him too far and he fought you, any spell that he did upon you where you would have to do a saving throw would be at disadvantage.
Oh, I thought that one is that he gets disadvantage on spells, but
I think it was that anybody who has that is disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
Anyway, good thing we didn't fight them then.
It is well past 11 o'clock now,
Yes,
so
I need to
big
go to bed.
thank you to Felicia, Jordan, Danny, Corinne, and most importantly, the crew that is making this absolute joy to do. We are definitely going in the right direction with something that is becoming very swiftly unique to Chaotic Neutral, where the players join too. I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm writing every adventure from now on with this kind of dynamic included, getting you guys in so that we're enjoying you, you're enjoying us. So thank you very much for weighing in on that. Hermit, thank you very much for dressing up in a maid's costume for me. I've ticked off a life goal. Thank you to Scornfuse for everything, for the art, for the humor, all the rest of it.
You're playing this so well.
Stuff.
I'm loving the whole pretending to be a kid dynamic.
Thank you to Mr. Ehol for the bits. Welcome back, sir. And
Minion
also,
and Snipe.
Thank you for Minion, Snipe, and Kate for coming in as well. Just a quick reminder of the thing that we said before, because I kind of want to make this common knowledge now. I don't know if Kate's been reminding people in her chat, but some people actually have ! Lurk on their Nightbot. I know that Scruffy Wolf, who I found this off, does it. If you're going to lurk in any of your favorite streams, please don't mute your sound. Just bring down all of the. You haven't done it yet.
Oh my god, a loot bomb!
A loot bomb. Okay,
Jeez.
I will roll that in just a second. You're keeping this going, Kate.
For next session.
For next session. Okay, I will bring that in next session. For some booty that you found.
Yeah.
I might just do that. The quartermaster opens up some stuff for you all.
Yes.
So yeah, if you are lurking in your favorite streamer's stream, do not mute yourself. Please instead just bring the volume all the way down to near mute so that you don't have to listen to it if you're working or whatever. And that way you're still registered as a viewer. You will not be registered as a viewer if you mute your stream. So that's something that I must admit I probably haven't been registered on Kate's from time to time when I've been kind of cooking or had some sort of call on or something like that, where I've muted her chat instead. I should have brought it down all the way down to minimum volume so that it didn't interfere.
You can also, if
like
you're using Chrome, you can mute your tab, so you can have.
Yes, you can mute the tab instead of the thing, and that will still work as well. Yeah. Thank you, Corinne. That's really important. So, as always, I'm Simon, and it is my honor, as always, to be your storyteller. Thank you, everybody, for making this fantastic. I'm not up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I still have work tomorrow, so
I do.
I'm going to head off
I'm
now.
not up at 5, but I have work.
You're not up at 5, go on. So, thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
Good night.
This is going to be tomorrow, 8 p.m. See you then.
Good night.
Yeah.